All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever it is you are. Hope you're all doing well today. We got two primaries going on. One, I'm not looking forward to the results. To Plantner is going to win. I have lost total respect for that guy over the last few weeks. But he's probably going to win. I want to see how many protest votes there are going to be for him. Probably not many, but there could be. We do have the Congressional District 2. The only problem is I need to, on Decision Desk, it keeps on coming up with an error. So, yeah, I'll have to figure out how to deal with that. I guess we'll just have to get the New York Times. The one thing that we're going to be watching right off the bat is the Senate race in South Carolina, the Republican primary. See what Lindsey Graham can do. Will there be um, a little backlash against him or not? So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Lindsey Graham. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess Plantner's good if like you don't mind him lying about everything. Then says he's a poor guy. He went to a privileged school. His dad is a lawyer. Gave him $200,000 for a house. And he said he got a VA loan for, but he didn't get a VA loan for. Then he says he's a poor oyster farm, but he works for his mother, who has a restaurant with Caesar salads that are $19 before you actually put any meat on it, right? And then all the other allegations, him saying that he doesn't know what his Nazi tattoo is and stuff like that. The guy is a fucking lie machine, and all I have to say is if he gets elected in there and he does something you don't like, well, you were warned. So yeah, I have no. I'll vote for, if I were there and it were the general election, I'd vote for him over Susan Collins. But sorry, he's to me he's a horrible human. And the second that Democrats all of a sudden start becoming like Republicans as far as saying, the bottom of the barrel is good for us, then this country has lost all morality. So we'll see what happens in that in that race. But I'm gonna watch first, obviously, what happens here. So polls have just closed in South Carolina. I don't know, um, you know, if there is going to be an early vote dump. I guess we'll see. We'll see in the next few minutes. So, yeah. See, I still don't respect Graham Plantner. Okay, you say you're poor, you actually not. You say you got a VA loan, you actually didn't. Your daddy gave you the money. Um, and here's another thing. A lot of the Democrats have been talking about, you know, and I've heard people say, "Oh, did they pay these women to say these about him?" If you're going to say that people paid the women to say stuff about Graham Plattner, don't bitch about crisis actors from the Republicans anymore, because you're now, going into that territory. It is kind of a shame to see how low the progressives. Like if I were in this, I would protest vote Janet Mills. Okay, didn't think I'd say that a month ago. But it does seem like America's proving the low morality that it has by the Democrats saying, "Yeah, let's take the morally bankrupt guy. He's all right." So we'll see what. And there are some votes coming in from Maine, but like I guess there was like one poll somewhere. Maybe they do like kind of a midnight thing, like they do in Dixville Notch. I don't know if Dixville Notch still does it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, David Jolly is going to lose. David Jolly just hired another. I forget who it was. Another Democratic. He's going to lose. He's not going to win. He's hiring all the wrong people who have lost every single campaign in Florida. The only people he's not hiring, well, yeah, he's going to lose. So, so someone says Paxton was labeled a horrible candidate and he won. Yeah, just because see, here's the thing. What we're determining what wins and loses basically says how shitty of a country America is. The United States is. When we sit there and say, yeah, we need to scrape the bottom of the barrel in order to get somebody who can win, that says a lot about the morality of this country. Sucks, but it's true. Tropical Dinged. I don't see the rest of it. Thank you very much for the super chat. What is the tightest race of the night going to be? I don't know if there will be any. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens in the South Carolina Senate race. Really? I don't even think like maybe the Maine, the Democrat for the Maine 2nd Congressional District. Maybe. I don't think we're going to have many close ones, but it's possible. Okay, so there's a lot of people in armed forces that have tattoos. I have no idea what they mean. Right. So should they be in the U.S. Senate? If someone's getting a tattoo on them and they don't know what the hell it means, should they be one of 100 United States senators? You got to wonder about judgment there. Oh yeah, the Maine's governor's race, right? So I do have this here. The Maine governor's race, that will probably be the closest one we have tonight. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. So, or the Democratic primary there. Yes, this will be the closest one. Angus King's son, Angus King III, who's running as a Democrat. So you really do see where his father lies, right? I mean, he caucuses with him, but even though he's an independent, his son is a Democrat. So yeah. The Plattner sexting scandal was a Republican-affiliated hit piece. No, it isn't a hit piece. It's the truth. Okay, sorry if the truth is something that is just happened to be reported, but that seems like a you problem more than it does an us problem if you can't accept the fact that he actually fucking did it. Because the people that are confirmed to have been doing it, we actually have pictures and stuff like that with him. Okay? So, say what you want to make yourself feel better. I mean, I think Plattner, I don't know how he is on the issues. I honestly can't trust him for anything. Yeah, see, I don't know. Let me go ahead and let's see if I can get it. I've been having problems. Okay, this one seems to be okay. I've been having problems with now all these votes from Maine are starting to disappear. So I think somebody reported votes a little bit earlier than they should have. Polls are fake. Polls are fake. Polls are fake. Yep, gotta. Polls don't agree with what I say, so polls are fake. Now, for anyone who is interested in my other channel, you can subscribe here at Election History. I am 50 subscribers short of 25,000, and it is coming to the point that I might be working on that. I mean, besides my regular job, I might be working on that full time and eventually ditching this channel. I mean, I'll keep it online, but there's a point where I just might not do anything on this channel anymore because the history stuff is really taking off, and honestly, I love doing it more. So we'll see. So I guess maybe I mean, so people talking about Graham Plattner wasn't didn't know what it was when he was young. See, I would at the age he got that at, I would have probably asked myself, why did what is this? Probably would have done a tad bit of research. Okay, so okay, it just shows he doesn't have good judgment. He doesn't have the ability to look at something and think. So he obviously just thinks, I have a view, you better listen to it. I'm not open to outside views. Okay. I mean, that's it. Like somebody just said, I believe Trump will allow midterm elections. Will be he'll claim fraud, and then the Republicans won't certify. There'll be something, and it won't be everywhere, right? So that's one thing that you need to, yeah. Okay, it doesn't matter if it is who's hurt. Okay, so somebody asked who was hurt besides his wife. Well, first of all, your wife should be the one that you are most loyal to. So, let's not put that aside. That's kind of important. Second of all, it talks about the moral fiber of the guy. It just shows he's a piece of shit. Okay, so um, it doesn't matter um if it hurt anyone. It just shows what kind of character you have. You're just a sick perv, okay? Especially when you got to go on a site like Kick that's mostly known for having kids. No, the Illinois ninth race is different. I didn't like that she came in and was a carpetbagger. That's it. On the issues and other stuff and all that, I had no problem with her. Okay. Daniel Biss is a progressive as well. But it with her, it was more of a, I move into Chicago, running in this district, and going to be a carpetbagger. Again, a district that I grew up in. Okay, so it's more connected to me than Maine, and so this is not even the same thing. I didn't think she was an immoral piece of shit. I do think Plattner is. So, unless you want a smooth growing Pete Buttigieg clones only for candidates, real people have backstories and are complicated. Not this complicated. Not sitting there saying, oh, I had a VA loan, but you didn't have a VA loan. Your daddy gave you $200,000. Oh, I'm a poor oyster farmer. No, it's your mommy who started it. You provide oysters for her restaurant that charges $19 for a Caesar fucking salad. You sit there and you say, oh, I'm a good husband, and then you are fine to cheat on your wife. You sit there and go, I don't know what this tattoo means. I don't know what something that I'm permanently going to put on my body means. And then all of a sudden you discover what it is. And if he just discovered what this tattoo was this year, how old is the guy now? Yeah, he doesn't have the judgment to be a fucking senator. So, yeah, his baggage is a little bit more. Okay. So, I mean, it sucks. It just shows that America has no moral class anymore. It's a classless country. And now the Democrats want to pick the classless people. And I don't mind fighting people. I'm all for the when they go low, let's go fucking hit them while they're down, right? Well, they're not going to be down. Let's get down in the trenches with them. But you can do that by also having candidates that have a little fucking moral fiber. Okay. Just, I mean, that's it. And here's the point. None of you, like with the house loan, saying he had a VA loan. I mean, to me, that's a big lie. That's saying I'm trying to get the veterans. No, daddy bought my fucking house. Okay. Irrefutable proof on that. Prove me wrong on that. You can't, because I've actually gone to the court documents in which Graham Plattner's father gave him the money. To me, don't give me this. And he went to some elite school when he was growing up. He didn't go to some public school there in local Maine. He went to some elite school. Yeah, spare me the fucking I'm a poor white child bullshit. By that metric, Obama's a horrible person too. Why? I mean, please point out the like how is that even equivalent? Tropical, thank you for another super chat. Thought on last Tuesday's LA mayor's race. Should California throw out their jungle primary or focus on ranked choice? I mean, I like ranked choice, honestly. I mean, Karen Bass is going to win the regular one anyway. Um, if it would have been that Republican guy, right? Seems like he's now out. No, I mean, I don't know. I think the jungle primary gets a little bit kind of in the weeds once we start looking at um, having as many candidates as we had in the gubernatorial race. Right? This is when, because let's be honest. Let's be perfectly honest. I do think if Eric Swalwell didn't have his problems, okay, that he would have probably made the runoff. But there was a point we didn't know if the Democratic Party vote was split more, okay? Because at that point you also had Katie Porter with a higher percentage. I mean, Bashir was down low, and then all of a sudden everything kind of crumbled for both Swalwell and Porter, and he was the benefactor of it. So, I mean, I think we should have ranked choice voting everywhere. I think we should have ranked choice voting everywhere because it gives the opportunity for smaller parties to compete, really, or proportional representation. Right? I mean, we could do that, but I mean, we got single member districts, so I guess ranked choice would be kind of what you would have to do. So yeah, I mean, I think if Kamala Harris ran, she would have definitely made. She has enough support. She would have definitely made the runoff, right? Yeah, that would have been something. So yeah. Obama promised so many CIA ghouls as position of Secretary of State. Honestly, I think John Kerry was one of the best Secretary of States we had. One of the only ones that actually knew what the hell he was talking about. So, God forbid he gets somebody that's actually qualified for the job. You got to do something really quick. Yeah, or no, CIA. Well, you said CIA or Secretary of State. Oh, so many CIA ghouls as Secretary of State. So I don't think Hillary Clinton was part of the CIA. I don't think John Kerry was part of the CIA. Okay, so somebody mentioned, I guess my question is really about how dumb the coverage post election has been with Republicans claiming fraud. Here's the thing about that fraud thing. And okay, so if you're a member of my election history channel, you're seeing the video now. But my next video is going to be tomorrow, which are 6 political myths that almost every American believes. And one of them is that Kennedy cheated, like he worked with Daley to cheat in Illinois to win in Illinois. If you look at the newspaper coverage after Nixon lost, and you see what the Nixon camp was saying and the Republican Party was saying and all that, it didn't sound much different than what the Republicans are saying now or what Trump said after 2020. So it's stolen thing, and I was just kind of surprised by it. I was just watching it, and I'm like, there's a pattern here. But if you go look back at those newspapers, and I've been thinking about doing some sort of video of comparing the two and just saying it's just amazing how the way in which they talk about how Kennedy stole the election is very similar to how Trump was talking about or does talk about how Biden stole the election. And then it made me realize, wow, this shit isn't new. Okay, this shit is old. It's been going on for a while. Well, California also, I believe, has, I don't know how long, like absentee ballots have like a while to come in, because I think they're a state that requires the postmark, right? If the postmark is, um, on election day, then it's accepted, but it takes a while to get there. Yeah, but see, here's the thing: the Republicans had their machines back then. Um, there are political science articles. Kalina's article in 1985, one of the ones that I actually list in what I was in the video. Edmund Kalina, University of Central Florida professor, wrote in 1985 about did Kennedy steal the election, which he says no. He said there were enough Republican machines down in downstate Illinois here that did the same thing, right? So the Republicans had their machines too. Yeah, voters care more about issues and scandals. I agree. I agree. And that's how it should be. But, and in my view about Plattner is, I believe Plattner became where he was, or where he is, I guess we should say, because he knows how to campaign in 2026. Zoran Mamdani knows how to campaign in 2026. AOC knows how to campaign in 2026. All these other Janet Mills, establishment type of Republicans, they're stuck in James Carville 1992 world, right? They still probably use dial-up internet. Okay, so I mean they don't. I'm being facetious, but you get the point. Um, Graham Plattner's where he is because he knew how to use social media. He knew how to use the internet. He knew how to use uh, the current things to his benefit. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And this, I'm kind of hoping what Mamdani and Plattner, even though I'm not a fan of his, what Plattner, like I said, I'd still vote for him. I hope that gets the Democratic Party got to get a fire in their ass to realize, okay, quit your 1992 campaigning DLC bullshit, get into the 21st century and start campaigning that way. Because it was weird, because the Democrats for years until 2008 with Obama, they were like the trendsetters as far as understanding the current trends on how to win. Then as soon as Hillary Clinton got in there, I mean, 12 was kind of even, but as soon as Hillary Clinton got in there, yeah, let's go back to the old ways. Let's do direct mailers and stuff like that. The establishment needs to realize that's going to lose them elections. And they just don't get that. And yeah, like someone's laughing at James Carville, and I agree. I mean, the fact that we still see him on television, okay, is just like, let it fucking go. Just he's just he doesn't know. He's probably one of those people who complain about that damn internet. Okay, so here we go. We got our first results in from South Carolina. So Lindsey Graham, he's got 61%. So far so good for him. And I don't know where strengths and weaknesses are going to be. I mean, granted, it's only 3,425 votes, so still have a lot more to go. Now let's look at the Democratic one. Now this is interesting because everyone was saying, all I heard people talk about was this Annie Andrews and how they're talking about her going against Lindsey Graham. Well, this looks very close so far. We'll see how this plays out, but this looks very close. And I'm just watching the governor's race to just see where Nancy Mace, awesome. It will be so good to see the backside of Nancy Mace. It will be, I better not say that because she'll say it's sexual harassment, right? It'll be so good to see her go bye-bye. Let's just put it that way. That will be funny. That will be nice. Yeah, so Ohio Tyrant, a lot of establishment Democrats are lazy and don't want to try new things, right? I mean, they just they're grifters. And this is why I'm saying, see, David Jolly is running a typical 1992 campaign. That's why he's going to lose. Okay? That's why he's going to lose. I don't know about if anyone is progressive leaning or not in this. Okay, now Andrews is starting to get a little bit of a lead here, so okay. So maybe it's going to pull away. Yeah, see, it's kind of like, and see, this, it's kind of like Mamdani. So somebody says, I don't want to hear about Mace again after tonight. It's kind of like Mamdani's statement about Cuomo. Okay, wait. See, because I always say Mario Cuomo and Chris Cuomo. Why can't I ever think of the shittiest of them all? Anyways, is like I don't want to ever utter that name ever again. And the establishment Democrats hate it because he is kicking ass. I mean, that guy is kicking ass and taking names when it comes to mayor of New York. Andrew Cuomo, right. I always forget the shittiest of them all. I never liked the Cuomo family, so well, it does look like Lindsey Graham is. I mean, we only got 5,500 votes so far. It looks like he's going to be in good shape. But I'm assuming that if Graham is doing well in these, I assume if Graham is doing well in these rural counties, he's going to do well in the urban as well. I assume. I mean, I truly believe that AOC is going to run for president because the good thing about AOC, because I think there's a lot of talk about if she's going to run for president or not. I do think that AOC doesn't care about career advancement in the U.S. Senate or in the U.S. House. She's not trying to get on a committee or something like that. I mean, yeah, she's trying to get on a committee right now, but her life goal isn't to be chair of the Appropriations Committee. Like, that's not her life goal. Her life goal is not to become a senior senator from the state of New York. Her life goal is to try to make this country better. I think she's going to run, and if she does, I'm going to be with her. I think Kana has too much connection to the tech industry. Um, I think that does hurt him. Oh, Nancy Mace now up to 8%. Yes. AOC Tucker Carlson. Funny. Yeah, I mean, so far every county is a Lindsey Graham county. I mean, but here's the thing. So somebody just said AOC is going to struggle with um, policy, foreign policy. People don't care. Do you see who our president is now? Dude can't even find fucking Mexico on a map, right? I mean, we got the biggest retard in chief out there right now, and yeah, this buffoon is president. It's all a popular. Two things. One, it's a popularity contest. Two, showing that you actually care about people. Okay? People don't want elites. People don't want people who put their nose up in the air and think that they're better than everyone else. People just want down to earth people that will just listen to them. That's okay. So that's the second reason why Plattner is where he is. So you got those Instagram reels, man. He's sitting there talking to all the people. That made a difference. People do care about foreign policy with the Iran conflict. Yeah, but they don't know anything fucking about it. Okay? That's the point. I mean, political science, one thing about political science is all the way since the American voter with Campbell, Converse, Miller, and Stokes, all the way up till now, there has been one constant in politics. Issues don't matter. For all intents and purposes, issues don't matter. Now, political consultants want issues to matter so they can feel like, I know this stuff so I can inflate my consulting fee, but it doesn't. Political science, time and time and time again, has proven that. As a matter of fact, if you go to an American political science conference or the Midwest one up in Chicago, one of the biggest jokes amongst the behaviorists is that issues matter. Right? We used to always have that joke, issues matter. They don't. I mean, I'm sorry, but they don't. It's a popularity contest. I wouldn't use the R slur in a public saying, what, retard it? If you don't like it, get the hell out of my... that's you problem instead of a me problem. Yeah, I'm getting tired. You can't say this. You can't say that. Yet, so people got on my ass for saying retarded, but will give Graham Plattner a pass with all the shit he's lied about. That shows you why things are fucked up. Yeah, this gap is not really closing. Well, and it'll be interesting because a lot of the counties that have black voters in here, like right in here, still haven't really voted yet, right? Like Charleston County and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how those votes equal out. Because see, that's one of the reasons. Back to me saying retarded. That's one of the reasons Democrats lose. Somebody did a video yesterday or the day before. It's about like woke 2.0 and saying that a lot of people are tired that when somebody says something that you have some far liberal progressive telling them how they shouldn't use that word, even though it's been used for years until like 3 years ago, right? Because all of a sudden somebody deemed it offensive. Okay. You gotta stop the language policing. You gotta stop it. I hate to sound like Bill Maher or Ron DeSantis or something, but they are right there. You gotta stop it because it isn't gaining you votes, it's losing you votes. So I want to see. No, I want to know which one is which. Okay, so it seems like California is an open primary state, from what I see. Yeah, the soy pill video. Yes, that's it. That's the one I'm talking about. Right. Yes, and he's right. Yeah. Can you explain Plantner versus Mill in 1980 Olympics hockey terms? No. My favorite play. Did Karlamov play in that Olympics? I don't remember. Karlamov was like the best player for the Soviet Union. Then he died in a an auto accident. If I remember, Mike Ruzioni is a Republican. Bill Maher is not a person I want to associate myself. I'd want to associate myself with though. No, I that's what I'm saying. I'm like I don't like the guy, but like I used to, and then he just got all. Well, no, you know what? He said some good things, but Bill Maher is one of those people that if somebody doesn't laugh at his jokes, he gets like all offended. Right? He's just like, "Come on, laugh," and it's just like, "No, Bill, it wasn't funny. Shut the fuck up and continue." Oh, okay. So he did play. Okay. I think Karlomov's actually in the Hockey Hall of Fame as well. Welcome from Portugal. Thank you very much. And this is one thing I've been thinking about doing. Um, Everyone in the chat, if you want to, um, tell me where you're from. Like, you don't have to tell me the city or whatever unless you want to. Tell me if you're from the United States or what state. Are you from another country? Yeah. Yeah, Karlamov died in 1981. Okay, yeah, I knew that. So, oh, Keith Oberman got so screwed. He got so screwed. Ah, Quebecer. Awesome. So I'm trying to see now Arlington Heights. Hey, I lived in Schaumburg for many years. Used to go to Arlington Park. I don't know if they have that anymore. The Arlington now screwed over the Bears and they're going over to Indiana. That sucks. Ah, Wesley Chapel, Florida. Got enough Florida people in here. From Mongolia. Okay, that's probably going to be the most unique of all locations. Mongolia. Welcome. Austria, Georgia. Georgia the state or Georgia the country? I'm sure Georgia the state. Lewiston, Maine, we already mentioned. Northeast Ohio. Um, New Jersey, Iowa, Massachusetts. Um, Boulder, Crypto. I don't know. Boulder, Colorado. Um, West Virginia, Orange, California. Awesome. Okay. Because I'm gonna tell you, and again, if you are into election history, please check out my election history channel. Okay, as you can see here, I'm just gonna reload it. Still 24.9 thousand subscribers. This close to getting 25,000. I am going to be spending a lot more time on this channel, on the election history channel. I don't know where voting trend's going to go. I've come to the point where I only like doing live streams. And I don't like doing regular recorded videos. I really only like doing live streams. Unfortunately, Elon is from my country. No, but you know what? So somebody says doesn't promote gambling. It's like I almost sat there and thought, you know what? I can give my opinion and let those people figure out what they want, but screw that. Screw that. I don't want to be part of that at all. Though I used to go to Arlington Park, which is a horse race track. Back in the day, put $2 on a horse, 20 bucks, get all. No, they had 9 races, not 10. Yeah, like the yeah. So Andrews is up now. I was like, hey, they're talking about how it's gonna be so close, but no, she's up now. I mean, these seem to be set in stone from South Carolina. Ah, yes. See. Okay, This is why I'm wondering if election history is going to go a different way. Um. Okay, so let me figure it out. Or not election history, voting trend. My election history channel has had more views in the last. Hold on. Has had more views in the last 2 hours than this channel has had in the last 8 days. Okay, so yeah, so that is, or no, wait, hold on. No, the last six days. Yeah, my history one channel has had more views in the last 2 hours. Things are looking good that on that election history channel, I can possibly get to a point in the near future where it is actually a full-time job. Which means, what do I do with voting trend? Part of me has thought about just ditching, not ditching it, but just keeping it dormant. But I like doing international elections. And you mentioned a by-election in the UK with Andy Burnham, stuff like that. I want to cover that. That is one I want to cover. I don't like covering American elections. I love covering international elections. And I guess part of covering international elections is I really don't know much about them, right? So when I actually cover a by-election somewhere, unless it's in Canada, like Canada, I will know. My master's degree is in Canadian politics from McGill. Unless it's Canada, like I'm learning something new. And I like doing that and kind of like exploring. And that's what I've been thinking about doing. Sears catalog, something I used to get a lot back in the day. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. What's your opinion of Jared Polis with the whole Tina Smith thing? I'm not sure if there is more to the story that I'm not aware of. I never like, and I'm sure a lot of people could say this in the comment section. I never was a Jared Polis fan in the first place. He was like pure establishment Democrat that breaks from the Democratic Party every now and then. Like I think he's either a big anti-vaxxer or something like that. And I'm getting ready to watch. I don't want to watch the World Cup, but I'm getting ready. I'm going to get ready to watch the French games. That's all. I'm not going to watch any other games. Oh yeah, the whole Peru election. Forgot about that one. Um I'm pretty sure AOC and Mamdani did not come from a place, did not have parents who own restaurants that sold $20, $19 Caesar salads without any meat on it. I'm pretty sure of that. And if it is, it was AOC was the server at that, because remember, she was a server. I mean, I only want France to win. Um, and this is another thing too. Why I've been thinking about ditching voting trend is that, well, at least not do any regular videos. I have not done them in a little bit, and that's probably going to be the case because I want to continue to work on my French. I want to continue doing other things. Right. I have my regular job. I have election history, which has now kind of become a full time job, and I don't have much time to do other things. That's why I don't mind doing the live streams. It's the end of the day. Chances are I probably would be working on my next script, which for those of you who are watching now, I'll give you an insight. The next video is going to be about the 2016 Democratic primary. And yes, I will be using Podesta and DNC leaked emails for that. So that's going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, the I mean, and this comes to the point of the whole thing. I could do just a live stream. I had thought about doing just kind of a everyday live stream, like Monday through Friday live stream show, talking about politics in general, just shooting the shit about politics. Right? So I'd thought about that. Um so what is my main job? Bodyguard? No, if I'm somebody's bodyguard, they're fucked. Um oh wait, do we have somebody else? No, that's Graham. Ah, our first county in which Graham does not have a majority. It's funny, Andrews and Graham almost have the exact same margin here. I mean, so here the one problem with, and I've mentioned it before, you know it, it's nothing new. The thing that has just happened with YouTube is that it's really gone to like political slop. As a matter of fact, I even wrote an article on Substack, which this is probably going to be my last article on there. This was my kind of like I'm fucking tired of everything article. And I'll just throw it in here. Which is America can't be saved and I'm not going to be a part of it. It's just kind of the whole article is essentially saying how, like, for example, the Pod Save America guys, who I really, really respected in the past, who would have political scientists on, who would have people like Lynn Vavrick on from UCLA, who's great when it comes to voting behavior and academics and smart people. Now they're getting people like this fucking David Pakman on, who's just as much of a online hack as any of them. They've in the whole part of this is I start off my article with saying back in January, two American citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were executed by agents of the American government. The fact that Pod Save America and all these other people are worried about a fucking spot on Donald Trump's hand when people are being executed in the streets of the United States, it's a little fucking tone deaf to me. And this is the problem that I have right now with American politics. The problem that I have is that people are the Democrats are more into owning MAGA like the Republicans are into owning the libs. And again, We've had 2 people executed by agents of the American government and somehow forgotten about now. I mean, except for people in Minneapolis, they still talk about that shit. And God bless them, even though I'm an atheist. God bless them. But the fact that we're not even talking about that, the fact that we're not even talking about how fucking dangerous we're getting, and we're talking about how Trump slurs his speech and how he farted in his chair and how he has some mark on his hand. It's like, really? Really? This is what the American political discourse is nowadays? Really? We've become that fucking childish? Really? That's why it's becoming hard to be in this space. Because if you actually talk about like regular stuff with nuance and things like that, and not just toe a line, you're kind of sucked out. You're sucked out of the YouTube world. And that pisses me off. And just seeing how, again, a channel that, or a podcast I really respected, like Pod Save America, has gone to shit. It really has gone to shit. And it's only gone to shit since Donald Trump won in 2024. It was good before then. And then it just seemed like they realized, now we got to play the game too. Like I said, Kyle Kalinske says, oh yeah, people, the ICE agents only trained for 47 days because Trump's the 47th president. No proof he ever said that. Nope, this doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from Kyle Kalinsky's own ass, right? Has he ever apologized or corrected it? No. Because he's going to go with the lie, because he knows it gets him hits. He knows people get riled up. It's kind of like in Ohio. So the guy that Vivek Ramaswamy beat in the primaries, good old Midas Touch, said that person endorsed Amy Acton. He didn't. And as a matter of fact, he actually, I put this in the article, he actually had a tweet here that said, I am not endorsing either Vivek Ramaswamy or Amy Acton. But then then did the Midas Touch issue a correction? Fuck no, they didn't. That's what I can't deal with anymore. And so it's kind of either speaking to the void and dedicating all my time to my history channel, which, by the way, right here, speaking to the void or spending the time on my history channel. No, but it's like even okay. So you do have some that are going the more journalistic, having an integrity route. The Jim Acostas, the Terry Morans. You have them going that way. Then you have the sensationalists. Okay, the David Pakmans, the Midas Touch, Kyle Kalinskis, all that. Then all of a sudden you get these people who find themselves out of a mainstream job. Mehdi Hassan, for example. Now, he could go the way of the Jim Acostas, or he could go the way of the reactionaries, and included in that is the I Have It women, or as I call them, the Chardonnay twins, right? You could go that way. Mehdi Hassan has decided to go that way. Pod Save America has decided to go that way. And one person that I'm worried about, because they've been talking about Barry Weiss now being in charge, possibly, of editorial at CNN. To me, that means that Aaron Burnett's days are numbered. Christiane Amanpour's days are numbered, right? I'm poor can she could just retire from this and should do a Substack. I just hope Aaron Burnett and others go that Substack route. As much as I don't like how Substack has squeezed small creators out, it is an important piece. It is an important platform for journalism. Now I think Breaking Points is bad too. I think it's just it's hyperbole, right? Okay, so somebody says Majority Report, and this is where I'll put the Young Turks as well. Those who I would say truly established themselves when YouTube just became a thing, right? Um, and Young Turks were around before YouTube, right? They had their own website. Um, those, though bombastic as they are, really, really focus on the issues. So, Democracy Now! I always thought was a kind of a rag. Actually, we had what is her name, Amy Goodwin or something like that. When I was at the University of Utah in 2002, she came there and spoke to us. But I mean, I agree with them on the issues, but I think they're kind of sensationalist, but I agree with them on the issues. But then they'll connect with people like Tom Hartman, who's taken money he was on Russia Today, right? That's an issue for me. No, I don't think the Young Turks have turned into trash. I think the Young Turks, you go watch the Young Turks, they'll talk about issues that are happening. You go to one of these other ones, like Kyle Kalinske, oh, Trump has a spot on his hand. Young Turks aren't talking about spots on Trump's hands. The left media now, the far left media on YouTube is talking about the childish things that childish people will want because they got TikTok brains, right? Young Turks actually are talking about things that are affecting the news. So yeah, I think they're significantly better. Yeah, I think Young Turks is great because they're not just like, oh, we're gonna call this person I mean, Shank does, right? Um, and I know people don't like the Young Turks because Anna said something or whatever, and you know, people for some reason need to stay in a narrow lane and can't think outside the box. But yeah, I mean, but to me, the Young Turks is probably the best one out there because see, okay, so the Young Turks is pro Tucker Carlson now. How? Did they say one little tiny thing? Like me saying the word retarded, does that mean now because I said the word retarded, I hate every single person with a disability out there, right? This is the problem that liberals have and progressives have is when somebody says one little thing, you blow it up and you just alienate a shitload of people. You know? Stop doing that. Just stop. Yeah, to me, the Young Turks is actually good. Again, they're talking about news. I'm not into the spot on the hand shit. I'm into stuff that's actually happening. People doing actual reporting, not just pontificating about what's happening, as I now pontificate about certain things. Yeah, I mean, Burnham has to get into that seat. He really does. All right, let's see if there's polls are closed and one of the most morally corrupt people to run for Senate this cycle is about to win the primary. So Joe, a good point in but see, this is why I just think it's all media. Okay. With the I'm right, you're stupid. Right. So um yeah, this is where it's gotten to the extreme everywhere, including it's gotten to the extreme everywhere, including um the mainstream media. They sow both sides of some shit so hard, even when there is a wrong side, that it's become hard to watch. Honestly, I've tuned out of a lot of American news recently. See, I think the majority report is just more, they're more, look at the spot on Trump's hand. Carly1129, thank you very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Who is morally corrupt? Graham Plantner. Oh, yeah, I had a VA loan, but I got money from my dad. I mean, you're lying to fucking veterans there. If you have to lie to veterans about getting a VA loan to make yourself look good, you're a fucking piece of shit. Sorry, but you are. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think for all intents and purposes, we can say Lindsey Graham has won, but people mention this. I don't know if it means anything, but because it is a primary when all is said and done, we have to see what the turnout is. But Andy Andrews is getting significantly more votes than Lindsey Graham. Yeah, the Zateo News or whatever it is. Yeah, that's Mehdi Hassan's thing. See, I don't think. See, I think it started being decent. Okay. And then, like I said, they connect with the Chardonnay twins and all that who just talk about the spot on the hand. Okay. I just look at it this way. If you're constantly talking about the Trump's looks, the rash on his neck or the spot on his hand, like constantly, you're not serious. You're not a serious news organization. What website? I'm using votes.decisiondesk.com. Let me go ahead and put it in there so you can kind of see it. Mehdi Hassan is too sensationalist for me these days. That's what it is, and that's the problem. I mean, he was very boisterous and said things really well, but but it's like I wish someone mentioned it earlier today or mentioned him earlier in the chat, and that was Keith Olbermann. Right? I'd love for us to get back to those days. I'd love us to get back to Keith Olbermann. I mean, look at all the people at MSNBC kicked out. They kicked out Keith Olbermann. They kicked out Ed Schultz, who, by the way, did work for Russia Today, so I have an issue with him. Rest in peace. They kicked out Phil Donahue. They kicked out Phil Donahue because he was questioning the Iraq War, right? They kicked out. I think they kicked out Keith Olbermann because he made a campaign contribution. Though Joe Scarborough, who does anyone actually like Joe Scarborough? Does anyone actually watch Morning Joe to see what Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, like, she just sucks oxygen out of the air, right? It's like you watch the show for everyone else. It's the days where they say, Joe and Mika are off. You're like, thank God. And that's the thing. Once you get Joe and Mika off of Morning Joe and Mike Barnacle to a certain extent, that's the kind of journalism I want to see. Those are the kind of shows I want to see. Just don't have them anymore. Oh, I got something in my eye. Yeah, see, I have. So if you want a UK channel, I think you'd like Dave. His channels calls for a different bias. Well, and one thing I thought about doing many years ago, about 10 years ago, I was doing a lot of work with I had a French soccer or football uh, blog back before YouTube was really, I mean, it still was a thing, but you didn't realize how much you could do with monetization. My heart is kind of in that. My heart isn't in this stuff that we're doing now. As I've told you before, I do it because I know it, right? If I ditched doing voting trend tomorrow, I'd probably be 50 times happier than sad, to tell you the truth. But my heart is with French football. And I thought about restarting my passion for French football, especially now that I am a European Union citizen. It makes that access easier. Okay, Ali Velshi is good. Ali Velshi is good. He's also Canadian. See, this is another thing. I do find, oddly enough, that a lot of the people that we say, oh, they're good and they're in American media who are good on the liberal or progressive side, they're usually all from another country. Pierce Morgan's been getting a little bit interesting lately, I would say. Because of social media, it's going to be kind of hard to return to the days of non sensational news. Yes, that's the point. That's why I don't know if I want to continue this channel because I refuse to go down that route. I just do not want to go down that route. Okay. Um my mom's in there. Susan Trotter. How you doing? I like Jonathan Lemire. He See, when Jonathan Lemire does it, it's good. See, to me, Don Lemon got worse. Okay. I never had a high opinion of Don Lemon in the first place, but now he seems more sensationalist. Right? He doesn't seem like a journalist. Am I a Paris Saint Germain supporter? Hell no. Oh, wait, actually. Let's see. Come out here. I don't know if that's showing up. I am a Paris FC supporter, not a PSG. Mom's in the chat. Well, Mom is a moderator, so I know she's not going to screw me over, so that's good. Um, Ashley St. Clair, I have no idea who that even is. Okay, so Republican propaganda wins with no journalists and all sensationalism. This isn't an either or argument. This isn't because, it's kind of like saying I want dog shit and dog shit with mustard on it. Which one would you rather have? Well, I guess I'd rather have the one with mustard on it, but they're both still dog shit. Okay, this kind of comparing these things, it doesn't mean, yeah, the Republicans are bad. The Republicans are worse. I know that. But the Democrats and liberals and progressives aren't good. That's the point. It's not a it's not a dichotomy. It's not a binary choice. I don't like them. Wait. Hold on, wait. You're saying you don't like them, but they beat Arsenal, but you have them on Donnie, Avatar, And he's a huge Arsenal fan. You know he's a huge Arsenal fan, right? So yeah. See, and honestly, I've talked to Kartik Krishnaiyer about this because he's very involved with football. He actually asked, so you might remember him from live streams I did during the election. He actually is hanging out with the England national team in Florida right now during their friendlies. He was able to ask Thomas Tuchel a question during the press conference as an accredited journalist. And I've been thinking about going back into that space because I like doing that way more. All right, so we're waiting. So I think, okay, Lindsey Graham has now been declared the winner. So why has Lindsey Graham been declared a winner, but not Annie Andrews? And she still has more votes than he does. That's quite interesting. And like I said, I mean, unless something changes, whenever I pick the congressional races, we'll just check for the percentages here. Whenever I click on the congressional Maine races, it's showing an error. So I don't know why that's happening. Lindsey Graham won the primary. And he won. So he's like at 62. So it's looking like it's going to be, let's see, yeah, 61%, 59.4. Looks like it's going to be Andrews and Graham in the general election. So okay, yeah, so 123 so far. Now remember this so far, 123 for the Republican Senate race and 154. I mean that's pretty interesting. And it is an open primary state as well. Oh, I hope the U.S. finishes dead last in the group stage, but I don't think so. I think the United States. I think the United States will at least make the semifinals in the World Cup. I think the United States will make the semifinals of the World Cup for the same reason Russia made the quarterfinals in the World Cup when they hosted it. So I don't know if you heard about the referee from Somalia who was denied entry. The United States is going to do what they can possibly to deny certain clubs, people to be allowed into the country. I have a feeling a lot of shit's going to be rigged for the U.S. Especially since Infantino seems to have a hard on for Donald Trump by giving him the Peace Prize. I think the fix is in, but we'll see. No. So I don't think the United States is good. I think Christian Pulisic is the most overrated player in Europe. Okay, from an American point of view, right? I don't follow the men's national. I follow the women's national team. She lost to Brazil. I don't follow the men's national team at all. Like, not at all. I follow France. I only follow France. Little bit of England, but I follow France. Christian Pulisic, I looked him up the other day for AC Milan. He's like dressed for 30 of the games, and like half of them, like he's on the bench for. And that's your big guy, a guy who comes off the bench? Come on. Okay, here we go. Plattner up. See, those are those same votes we saw at first from the same place. So I'm wondering if this is like, if this little community does one of those like midnight vote type of things. Schwartz, California governor's race is a joke. You're not wrong. Politics sucks. Yeah, I mean, if like honestly, if somebody could come up to me and do one of those Men in Black things and wipe all the political knowledge, well, I got my election history. It wouldn't allow me to do that, which I like. But otherwise, yeah, I'd take it in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm only saying that I think the United States will go far because of corruption, right? I'm not saying that they're going to go far because of talent. I'm saying they're going to go far because of corruption, right? So, like, if this World Cup were in, if this World Cup were in somewhere in Europe, I think U.S. would be knocked out in the group stage. Honestly, I think Australia would beat them. No, France's players are from France. Yeah. So Merlich, thank you for just showing your racism there because they are from France. There is a chance for the US and Iran to play in around the 32. That's where you'll see the first corruption come in because um, they're kind of like training in Mexico and have to come back and forth because the U.S. is pulling shenanigans. So if they have to do that and come back, how many players are going to be allowed? Or all you got to do is keep one or two players in custody. That's all you need. Oh yeah, I'm a big Australiophile. That is one country I do want to go to. I want to go there bad. I want to go there during an election and go to um, democracy, get a democracy sausage at a sausage sizzle in front of a polling station. I want to go see an AFL game. I mean, West Coast Eagles are my favorite team, but I do want to go to the Melbourne Cricket Grounds to see them. I thought about like renting an apartment for like a month in Richmond or something. I was like, what if I rented an apartment there for a month, stayed 1 month in Richmond? How would that be? Um, I'd like to go there. Then I'd like to see Sydney as well. I'm not just saying that I'm a Melbourne person. I'd like to see Sydney as well. I mean, yes, I'm a France fan, but I mean, I'm a France fan, but and I know I'm biased, but I do think they have a really good chance of winning. And honestly, I would rather be doing a World Cup preview live stream right now than a political one, honestly. Because I love France. So, question, why are you a France fan? I'm like a Francophile as well. So, but it's an interesting story why we wait for the votes to come in. So, in 1998, I did not like Brazil because I knew a bunch of people in Orlando where I lived who were Brazil fans, and I like they were nice, but they were the most arrogant of fans. And so the I went for France in the World Cup final. France won, right? Zidane has 2 goals. Even though Desailly was sent off and all that, France won. I was like, all right. 2 weeks later, I ended up going to France. It was my first ever trip to Europe. And we started off in England, went to Paris, down to Lucerne, Switzerland, up through Germany, up to Amsterdam, then back to Calais and over to the UK. So I get to London. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Had never been to London before, never been to Europe before. Then I got to Paris, and I kind of had Paris as an afterthought. I was looking at it as, well, I want to go to London. I want to go to Switzerland. These are the two places I really wanted to see. I go to Paris 2 weeks after the World Cup. I fell in love with it. Now, at that time, I didn't even know the word bonjour, right? I didn't know any French. When I came back, I started learning French. I started listening to French music. I started watching French television. I immersed myself into French culture. That's how much, and I was only there for 3 days. So we're there one night, then a whole day, then one night. Now, the day that we were there for the whole day, I was supposed to go with the group to Versailles. And I was asleep because I was up late the previous night. And they call me and they wake me up on the phone and they say, we're going to Versailles. We have your ticket here. I'm like, I don't want to go. And the woman was real rude. She goes, well, we have your ticket here, I'm like, yeah, I'll pay for the goddamn ticket. Just let me fucking sleep. So anyway, I get up at 10, like really late. Walk out the Hotel Luxembourg, which is now, or French Hotel Luxembourg, right? Which is near Montparnasse, like Le Tour Montparnasse. And I just started walking around Paris for 7 hours. And it totally changed my life. I became immensely fanatical about France. That because it was the first time I was outside the United States, well, except for Canada, it was the first time I was out in Europe, because my mind and my view of the world was only through an American lens. Then I get to Europe, I'm like, holy shit, America is friggin' ugly compared to Europe. Paris is 10 times nicer than any city I've ever been in the United States. So we go to Lucerne, we come back, get my French book, start learning French. And so, even the World Cup game against Brazil didn't matter. Going to France fundamentally changed what my life goals were. As a matter of fact, on my laptop here, I took, and this will kind of show you how it goes. I took my wallpaper that I have on my laptop is actually from that trip. And I kind of have it on there for inspiration. And I was like, I got to go through the visa process and all that. I don't have to anymore. No, actually, there's not a lot of dog shit in Paris. They, over the last 5 years, 6 years, no, it's not there. It used to be a bad problem. It is not. They have actively gone to do that. So this is, you can see it. You can see it's the Pantheon. And I took that picture when I was there in 1998. And that was kind of my inspiration of, that's where I want to live. Now you got to realize I never liked America. I never liked it. Even when I went there, it wasn't like I was in America and then Europe changed my mind about America. I always did not like America. I was the guy who went for Ben Johnson over the Americans in track and field. Though he ended up being using a ton of steroids. It is what it is. And when I really started this channel, I was in Paris for 5 weeks. And I wanted to live in Paris for 5 weeks to see, would I really want to live in Paris? Would I really want to be here for that long? And I've spent a lot of times in other places. I can tell you the city that I think is the shittiest in Europe of the big cities, or the country that I like the least, Bucharest, Romania. Like as far as I mean, I haven't been to all the countries in Europe, but definitely if I'm going to rate countries and cities, Bucharest and Romania are like low, like low, low, low. Um. Anyway, I was there for 5 weeks and was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And so now my dream is to be full time in Paris. Seoul is the best capital in the world. I want to visit Asia, and I've been thinking about doing that at the end of the year. Um, so, would anyone visit Paris if there were no Eiffel Tower? When I was in Paris for those 5 weeks, I went to the Eiffel Tower my second to last day. And I think it really matters if you speak, if you're able to communicate in French, it makes it so much easier. Like you go to a blue, you go somewhere, you go to a boulangerie, okay, je vais prendre quelque chose, right? You want something, un croissant or whatever, and it makes it easier. Bonjour, say the magical word bonjour when you walk into a place. Um, yeah, Maine's taking forever, just waiting for more. Um, but like I was at a boulangerie in Paris in the Haut Marais, the Upper Marais, and these two like Brits or Australians come in. Like we're in line, we're waiting, and I tell them what I want. Tell them in French, and I'm getting ready to pay. And it's weird because in France, unlike here in the United States, they encourage you to use a card. They don't want you to pay in cash. I had like five, and they're like, "Do you have any? Can you use a card?" I could, but I didn't want to. I wanted to use my cash up. And so like they couldn't even break a five. They were like telling me. And then they were like, "Oh no, we found it and all that." I go, "Yeah, don't worry. Whatever." Because I think I bought two baguettes or something. So like it would have been €1. I was just like, keep it or something. But these two Brits come in and they just start speaking English. Oh, hello. Do you have croissants or do you have croissants or whatever? And I was just like, and nothing against the British. I love British people. I really want to spend more time in the UK because an American can do this or whatever. It was kind of like the entitlement of everyone speaks English. And what was weird is when they came in, they started speaking English. Oh, we got a few more votes here. Yeah, a few more. We're up to 78. Um, like all the people in the boulangerie were just kind of looking at each other like half of them didn't know what these people were saying. And they kind of had broken English. And that's one thing about Paris that kind of does suck is people know English, but I would say out of all the European cities I've been to, the Paris probably knows English the least of like Berlin, Munich, Prague, Bratislava, Bucharest as well. So having some knowledge of French does help. And yeah, so and yeah, there's some northern. Hey, Andy Burnham's place. That's where Andy Burnham votes. So yeah, I mean, it might be okay. I need to. Trying to see if I get the results on the New York Times or something. Why can't I get it? Because I want to click on this right here, but I know it's going to give me the error. See, something went wrong. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, that's okay. We can just watch the percentage here. I can't even find the link on the New York Times for it. The only thing I see on the New York Times is the U.S. Senate seat. I don't see Maine's 2nd Congressional District. So, yeah. So that's what I was saying, yeah. So, yeah, that's why I like France is I fell in love with the country. Though I am falling in love with Germany a lot more the last few times I've been there. I've been to Berlin twice, once for 1 day, another time for just 2 days. I would like to spend a whole week in Berlin because I am immensely a Cold War history fanatic. And there's this one channel called East Germany Investigated or Investigate or something, or Investigates, that is a great YouTube channel um, that talks about East German history. Yeah, see, and that's a weird thing. So Rennie said, everyone that he ran into or she ran into, I don't know, man, um, everyone I ran into, because all the Rennies I know are male. So I hope you are. That would be bad otherwise. Everyone I ran to in Paris knew English. Um, yeah, so like it's like the English level, I guess, not necessarily the ability of English. Yeah, tropical ding dong. You're correct. It's kind of a silly election night anyway. We really know what's going to happen. Weird. So they call Andrews in the Democratic primary on New York Times, and here on, but haven't called the GOP one. Whereas here, or no, they now call Andrews the winner. It's going to be those two running against each other. So I don't know German, but I think you're saying, and I learned German for 2 years. So like I'm just going on Duolingo with German, but yeah. Yeah, like honestly, the so we might quit soon. Um, but let's look at the turnouts. Nearly 200,000 for the Democrats, 179 for the Republicans. That's something to keep an eye on. It's not going to be a win for the Democrats. Remember, these are just primary voters. But could it throw a little bit of a scare into Republicans? Maybe. That they got to spend money in South Carolina that they didn't expect. Or maybe this is where they have to do their vote fixing. I have been to Budapest. I was only there for an afternoon. I was staying in Bratislava for 3 weeks, and I went down to Budapest for an afternoon. I was supposed to do a Slovak class that day, but I just told them I feel sick. I'm not coming in, and I went to Budapest because I wanted to go to Budapest. I didn't have enough time to do stuff, and I like it. A little bit dirty, a little bit looks like some of the buildings could use a little of a pressure washer against them. I'll say, but yeah, not bad. Yeah, see, what is the usual Democrat versus Republican counts like in these? I don't know. So, see, we might be seeing a trend that usually happens. It might not be. So I'm not necessarily 100% certain on that. So that's a good point to bring up. Okay, now we have some now we have some German error correction going on in the chat. Love it. Yeah, if you got 2022, yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I remember a few things from German. Like I'm doing the stuff on Duolingo, but like I took German many years ago, and I like remember like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the numbers, but for some reason I remember Der Himmel ist blau. The sky is blue. I don't know why that's the one thing I remember. Oh, Bleistift oder Kugelschreiber, pen or a pencil, or pencil or a pen. Because the word Kugelschreiber is just so friggin' cool. No, so have you been to like Montenegro or Serbia? No, but and this is one of the reasons why I might be after the election saying I'm done with election history. I have been planning for years to do another YouTube channel, but this is something I've been planning for fun to do for a while. And it's called the I already have started. I got some videos on it, but I haven't done any. They're years old. Called Traveling History Tour, which is a travel channel, but we go to historical places. But not, hey, we're with a tour group and all that. One thing I want to do is I want to rent a car, and I want to go through Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia. So I do want to go to those and go to the places during the Yugoslav Civil War, especially the places in the Croatian war. So there are still places there where you see the bullet holes as well. Um, there was, I think it was a CBC or a BBC special called "The Death of Yugoslavia." It's like a big 5-part series or something like that. I might even start watching that again tonight. Really good series on it. Um, they interview. Oh, by the way, if you know the guy who at the international court that did the with the beard who did that, they even interview him in there. He's a Serb Croat. I'm not big to Luxembourg. I don't think the conjugation of the verbs in French are very difficult. Especially when you speak. Je parle, tu parles, il, elle parle, right? Vous parlez, nous parlons, and then parle, but that's spelled differently. And then, like, if you're doing, like, I have problems with passé composé and, what's it? Imparfait. Imparfait and passé composé. I have problems with those. So I always say, like, j'ai parlé. So I always say, like, j'ai parlé if I'm talking about the past, and then the future, je vais parler, right? So I always do those. Oh, another vote dropped. They're still at like 0% though. Like, do they do this like UK style or something? Wait, hold on. No, they don't. Because it says 12% and all that. Yeah, for me, it's when to use the imparfait and passé composé, where I like what situation to use those. So I usually always say, like, if it's past, like for it to be like j'étais, right? J'étais or j'avais to go. J'avais or j'étais. I always use those for the past. But like if I'm using other stuff for the past, I usually use j'ai. Um, Unless it's with a reflexive verb, then you have to say like je suis, right? Or no, no, yeah, with a reflexive verb or like verbs of travel. So you would have to say je suis allé, right? So you can't say j'ai allé. You got to say je suis allé, I think. And that could be like weird. I mean, I might not even. We're almost at 2 hours. I mean, not to want to end this, but I don't know. I'm not like Cracky Kornacki. I can't stay up all night, and I don't get paid as much as Cracky Kornacki to do this. So, um, but if it's gonna be this damn long, like, wow, Maine is right now making California look quick. Well, I'm not sure if it's necessarily a shock that these smaller rural areas are, because my guess is, first of all, how long is it going to take you to count two ballots, right? And second of all, my assumption is all this stuff is just done electronically anyway. So yeah. Tush, or something like that. That's like goodbye, right? So goodbye if you're heading on out. See you later. Yeah, so Maine does use ranked choice voting. So that, how does that reflect on here, right? Well, no, a lot of places will still count by hand, but when they submit their numbers to the state, They'll do it through. They'll probably, or if they do it by county, but I assume they do it through the state. They'd probably just do that electronically. Yeah, well, not looking forward to Graham Plattner winning. Gonna have a true scumbag in the Senate. If he, I still wouldn't be surprised if Collins wins. She's won all these years. I would not be surprised if she wins. He might be a good senator, but he's just a shitty person. Oh, Danielson, thanks for the. Let me see what you have to say. Love your live streams. I hope you continue doing them, even if you're done with making videos here entirely. Now I want to learn French and German, so it's a slow night otherwise. So yeah, and that's why I might just end. Is it's just. So someone says nothing interesting here. Oh, not really. I mean, not really in general, right? So I mainly really wanted to come on tonight to see if Lindsey Graham was going to get under 50%. That's what I mainly wanted to see, and that's not going to happen. I don't know. All I have to say is, and I've said this in the past, like with Kamala Harris and stuff like that, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. My gut and intuition has been pretty darn right on these things, so I'm going to put Plantner in. Right now, I'd say it's a toss-up seat, and I had him as a likely Democrat before. They will bring the fire. They will bring the thunder. They will burn down the house. I think that'll be enough to get Susan Collins over the line right now. Because right now he's winning amongst the converted. He doesn't have to be. So if John Wayne, like okay. So let's say Ted Bundy ran, which by the way, he was an alternate delegate to the Republican convention in 1972, 76. Ted Bundy ran, should say, you know what? He's not a great guy, but he has the votes. Ted Bundy, he's not a great guy. I mean, now granted, you're saying, okay, these are false equivalencies, Ted Bundy. You're right. The point is that this guy has bad judgment. He seems to be a horrible person. He lies out his ass. Like he wants to do the poor working class guy when he's, shucking oysters for his mama in a rich place, saying, "Oh, mommy might not be able to continue because she only has $1 million in savings." Yeah, fuck this guy. So thank you for the super chat. No, I mean, okay, he might win, but I think that just talks about the moral fabric of the United States and just how absolutely shitty and morally bankrupt this country is. Because I guarantee you one thing, if this were a Republican candidate, all you fucking Democrats and progressives would be saying the exact goddamn thing that I'm saying, and you fucking know you would be. That's the point. Everyone would be saying the same. Yeah, we'll see how. I mean, I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing with Fetterman, right? Heard the same thing with Sinema, to be quite honest, right? She was a Green Party candidate before, became a Democrat, became member of Congress and a U.S. senator, right? I've seen this dog and pony show before. Just telling you, you might win, but you might not like what you get. Oh, we're at 1%. Woohoo! No, see, here's the thing with Fetterman. He didn't do anything wrong besides having a stroke, which he can't control, in his election. Everything was afterwards. We're already seeing the open book on Plattner. Oh, I don't know what this Nazi tattoo is. Well, then, if you don't have that good a judgment, maybe you shouldn't be one of the 100 U.S. senators. You seem pretty dumb to me if you can't figure that one out. Doesn't take a rocket surgeon there. But the fact that everyone's just lining up to defend this guy, no matter how bad he is and how much he lies about having a loan, VA loan, lying about his humble beginnings, lying about his school, though he went to a prestigious school, lying about all of that. Just amazing how much people will hold water for him. It's just fucking sad, the state of America. Okay, so tropical ding dong, you're saying that only hogs. What am I saying that's incorrect? Did Graham Plattner not get $200,000 for a house when he said he got a VA loan? Is that not true? Does Graham Plattner literally work for his mom in a restaurant that sells Caesar salads at $19 a pop? Is that not true? Is it not true that all these things that have happened that we've seen as far as the allegations from the women, is that not true? Or wait, are they crisis actors? Are you guys going to go down? Now Democrats are starting to use Republican tactics. Well, this goes back to the reason why I don't want to be involved with politics anymore. Tell me where it's not true. I'm all ears. If Bernie likes him, I love him. Nope, not me. I'm not a cultist. I don't say whatever the dear leader says, I go with the dear leader. Nope. And see, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the creation of a new cult on the left. I think Plattner could win. I'm not necessarily sure he will. Of course, just like literally go look it up. His father gave him a $200,000 loan for his house. He said he got a VA loan. He did not get a VA loan. His father paid for his house. That's actually illegal. And if you're not doing the research, there's part of the problem, right? Okay? The paperwork is legally on the state of Maine's website. I've looked it up. I might be able to still have the bookmark for it to show you exactly his dad, who his dad is a wealthy lawyer, by the way, okay, gave him $200,000. But he lied and said, he lied and he said, I got a VA loan. It's a fucking lie. Okay, now if you want to support a liar because leaders of the cult are telling you to support a liar, that's your choice. It's all gossip. Again, it's what do you mean by gossip? Is it not true? Prove to me that it's not true. Let's see. So I'm going to show you this deed right fucking now. Come on. Oh, really? Search. Okay, so for some reason, I'm trying to run the search on Hancock County's um, website, and for some reason, the search isn't coming up. And there is something online here of Graham Plattner. Graham Plattner with the mailing address of, and it's not redacted in this, so unfortunately, I can't get to it. So yeah, there's his father, Bronson Plattner, gives him $200,000 for mortgage deed right here. Okay, what year? 2017, the year that he said that he actually used the VA loan to buy a house. So there you go, right there. And as soon as the main site comes up, which by the way will be this site right here, Hancock County Registry of Deeds, you'll just see it's not. I just click it and it's just not loading. But there you go. There's the $200,000 that Graham Plattner got to buy a house that he said he paid that he said the VA gave him a loan for. So yeah, I'm still getting nothing. So no, I'm not comparing Democrat. See, this is the problem. I think is ah people have this dichotomy of Democrats and Republicans. So what if Republicans do it? That Democrats they can be just as shitty. I mean, if you're trying to say that I'm saying the same thing as like a Democrat's the same as a Republican, then to me, you already lost the debate because you can't debate it on the substance, or you just prove my point that you're part of a cult. What the hell? Did it stop working? Come on. Okay, I think we got it working now. No. Come on. No, from what I understand, this was to buy the house straight out, and then he pays his father for the house. Okay, it's a mortgage deed. Okay, um, so he didn't cheat on anyone. He cheated on his wife. You know what better person to cheat on than your wife? Yeah, I will say in the last 10 minutes of this chat, it has made me lose all hope for humanity in this country. We'll follow the leader as long as it's our leader. We don't care if the leader's a piece of shit or not. So you want him to vote for things, right? Like Fetterman, right? He was going to vote for all these things. Yes, because there is no, I mean, I wish I could show it to you here, but there is no record of a VA loan. The only record of the loan on a house or a mortgage on a house is this record. Like I said, I wish I could show you this. It's not loading up. So that in and of itself shows you it's not a VA loan because there's no record of the VA loan there. Otherwise, there would be. There's no other loan on that. There's no other mortgage on that property. That in and of itself shows you that he didn't get the rest for a VA loan. Now, if a Republican had done that, you guys would be bitching and moaning. But one of our members of the cult do it. That's okay. Now, here's the thing, and see, this is why, see, people want to conflate things to kind of like own somebody. Would I vote for Plantner if he's the Democratic nominee? Yes, I would. I'd vote for this piece of shit, but I'd vote for him because he is better than Collins. So for somebody who's saying that I'm saying that the Republicans are better, pull that shit out of your ass and whatever, because I'm not saying that. Okay? That's you just wanting to make an argument because you can't make an argument against the other things. Harvey Weinstein was good on the issues too, right? I mean, he was a liberal that spent money for Hollywood and stuff. Jeffrey Epstein gave the Democratic candidates as well, right? I guess he's good as well. No, no, no. Let's quit. Let's quit doing the Susan Collins, Graham Plantner thing. Okay, this isn't a dichotomy. We're talking about whether the guy is a piece of shit or not. If you have to bring in Susan Collins, that means you've lost the debate because you can't debate him on what he is alone. No, okay. So somebody says you criticize Plantner 100 times more. Yes, because I'm starting to see the people who I used to respect as being free thinkers in the liberal, progressive, and democratic movement to now be the sheep that it doesn't matter if we're as shitty as they are. Again, this isn't a comparison of, again, if you want to compare Collins and Plantner, you're already losing the debate. You can't back up that he's a bad person. Again, what if Ted Bundy agreed with you on the positions? Is that good? No, the person is still bad. Okay? I'm not saying that Susan Collins is a good person. Don't put words in my mouth. Okay? I'm saying Graham Plantner is a bad person. He's a liar. He's lied about his mortgage. He's lied about his humble beginnings. He's lied about almost everything. To have this working man view, sorry. That's the issue. By attacking your own candidates, you help the other side win by projecting weakness. Well, if they're not prepared for that, that's not a me problem. That's a them problem. If I, some guy with 156 viewers right now on here, can say something, guarantee you the whole entire RNC is going to say the whole damn thing too. Okay? They know. So if you want, okay, so it's so funny. Like a lot of you have to talk about Collins because you can't defend Plantner. I think it's hysterical. Okay, exactly. So, um, I don't disagree that he's bad. I'm not a fan, but he's better. He's the better choice based on the dog shit that's on the table. Yes, yes, this is the point. Okay, Graham Plantner is the dog shit with mustard. Susan Collins is the dog shit. But you guys are praising him like he's the fucking Messiah, though you have no problem that he's lying his ass off. This is why I want to quit politics. It's fucking lost. Wait, Mason or well, they said Plattner is going to win. I mean, that's no surprise. So, is that going? I guess it's going to a runoff. So Nancy Mace endorsed Alan Wilson. So that means Pamela Yvette's going to win, right? Nancy Mace is done. We don't have to, at least for now, we don't have to hear about her. Danielson, thank you for the super chat. Dave, when it comes to the Maine 2nd Congressional District, what are the odds of Dems losing the seat in November? Is Paul LePage a strong candidate for the Republicans in that district? I mean, I hate the guy, but he is. I mean, honestly, he is. Paul LePage was like, he kind of was the bombastic Donald Trump before Donald Trump. Around the same time that Chris Christie was the bombastic Republican. He could win. He really could win. Dell, thank you very much. Plattner is still better than your average corrupt centrist candidate that takes money from evil organizations. The attacks are boring. Well, I'm not here for your entertainment. If you want to leave, you can leave. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not here for the entertainment. Okay. So no, his claim went from Plattner got a loan and lied about it to Plattner got a loan. No, my claim has not changed at all. I said Plattner got a $200,000 loan from his father and said that he got a VA loan when he didn't, and he lied about that because there's no proof whatsoever on the county's website that he got a loan from the VA or anyone else. No other mortgage, just his father. So I didn't change that. You changed it. So I guess it makes you feel better if you changed the story. You should watch CNN instead of this chat if you want to know what it feels like to have a stroke. Is it bad? I mean, CNN has become the worst at both sides of some. This is one of the problems with Donald Trump. He has moved the Overton window over so much on what is acceptable and normal, which I guess Graham Plattner will not have a problem with. See, and that's another thing. Graham Plattner, if he had the money, would he have been on Epstein Island? Apparently he likes to be on Kick where there's a bunch of 13-year-olds. Anyway, he's moved the Overton window over so much on what is considered regular and decorum when there are rights and wrongs to both things, right? So, like, Trump will say something bombastic. And then, like, they'll get Chris Murphy on there to say, like, okay, Trump will do some sort of instigation. And, like, it's 100% Trump's fault, whatever it is. Then they'll get, like, Chris Murphy on there and say, well, aren't you instigating it by having this type of rhetoric? Like, trying to equate, seeing this, I guess, is what cracks me up about the people who are trying to equate me talking about Plattner to being pro-Collins, which I am not. I've already said multiple times I would vote for Plattner in this race. That in the general election, no question, 100%. So let's get that clear. Is that CNN has just like they've moved over what is right or wrong. And it's just disgusting now. And it's just so sad. And now, I don't know if you saw it, seems like Barry Weiss is now going to be be part of the editorial board, or maybe the head of it or something like that at CNN. Okay. Aaron Burnett's not going to stay there. Guarantee you. Aaron Burnett's going to be gone. So yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, and I'm trying to think because they talked about something with Chris Murphy a few weeks ago. Maybe it was some shooting or something because it's America. It's got to be a shooting, right? Maybe it was something. And then they were like to Chris Murphy, well, aren't you part of the problem with the rhetoric? And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? No, but here's the thing. Somebody says Dave really has not convinced me. You won't be convinced. If you're a member of a cult, you're not going to be convinced. Okay? And this is where Sean Munger on his history video says if you don't want to take the information and actually look at it when presented to you, then maybe you should watch cat videos because this might not be the channel for you. See, and that's another thing about it. It's all about the win. That's the problem with America now. It used to be about morality and character. You know, when we pick people like Jimmy Carter, but now it's not. It's now about the win. It's not about doing the good things or doing the good fight. It's about he's our piece of shit. We don't care if he's, you know, lying through his teeth or whatever. Um, it's all about the win. Okay, owl videos more than cat videos. Okay, I'll let you do that. Okay, maybe my moral compass is different than other people's. To me, when you lie to the voters about coming from humble beginnings and being a poor oyster farmer, that you had to get assistance when you actually were selling oysters to your mother, when you say that you have a $200,000 or you got a VA loan but you don't, you have a $200,000 loan from your dad. When you lie to the voters, why can Republicans not lie to the voters but Democrats can? Why is that acceptable? Because of the win? That's the problem. But the point, okay, the support of the VA, he didn't. Unless his dad is an administrator at the VA, he got zilch, zero, nothing from the VA. He lied to you. But that's okay. He's on our side, right? Calling your viewers a blind cult is an excellent way. I don't care. Like, I think I've told people this 1,000 times. Like, I don't care if I do another video on this channel or live stream. I just do a live stream because I'm not doing anything. I'm kind of chilling. There was a primary. Like, if I stop today, I even said this earlier, if I stop today, fine with it. I don't care. Um, Barry Weiss moving to CNN after doing a spectacular job at CBS. No, I mean, I think she might do both. That's a thing. It's not like she's going to leave CBS, go to CNN. I think she's going to do CBS and CNN, which is just friggin' insane. Okay, here you go, New York Times. And if you can't believe the New York Times, then I can't fucking help you here. Okay? He has said the Department of Veterans Affairs gave him the support to purchase his home in 2017. Property and tax records show he bought the home for $205,000 and received $200,000 mortgage loan from his father. He is using a portion of his VA benefits to repay his father, his campaign said, a sum of about $950 a month. So he's just using his VA benefits to pay his father. But here, according to a report in the New York Times, he said that the Department of Affairs gave him the support to purchase a home. No, they didn't give him the support to purchase a home. His poppy gave him the support to purchase a home. So, you know, not my, whatever. Oh, you knew. I mean, the thing with Scott Pelley, it's like you knew. Um, you knew that Scott Pelley was gonna go, right? So it's like, yeah, you know that. No, 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 no. He said gave him support to purchase a home. Okay, the VA's giving. He's not to purchase a home. They're just giving him support. That's not going toward a home. I mean, if you have to splice the argument this much, then you're already losing it. But if you're part of a cult, then it's the reason why I'm basically done with politics. Is that you have the own the MAGA cult is just getting as bad as own the libs cult. No, I think that maybe we can see them in. I don't know. They had it on Pro. I don't know if they've now done it. Maine just seems to be slow. I don't know why. It just is. I'm not splicing the argument. I'm literally showing you what is in that. But if you have to say, oh, it's a little bit of his Veterans Affair to pay for that. No, he literally said the VA helped him to get a house. No, he didn't. Well, then you can literally say that the VA payments are to give him anything. But hey, you're part of the own the MAGA cult. I can't help that. It's the reason why Democrats are probably going to do a lot worse than people think. Oh, we're at 12% now. I haven't both sides anything. I said that Republicans are pieces of shit. I'm saying both sides suck, but I'm not saying one side's equal to the other. I think Republicans are significantly worse, and I will vote for the Democrats all the way down ballot. I think that I've mentioned that multiple times that I would vote for Graham Plattner over Susan Collins, something that people are just forgetting to listen to. Selective listening. You don't consider monthly financial payment a form of support for a house? No. Form of support, yes, but for a house? No. No, I can't make a. Thank you, John, for that. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, you can't make it. The second with the statistical stuff and all that I said Kamala Harris is in trouble, in Pennsylvania, I'd get remarks like this that you see in the chats. Oh, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. The second I said this whole Republicans for Harris is a myth. Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're full of crap. I'd show them statistical analysis. Oh no, that's wrong. Okay, it's become a losing battle. There is no rationality in politics now. People want to believe, oh, Kamala Harris is going to win everything. Then she doesn't. And then, I don't know. And thank you for the super chat. I wish, yeah, I wish I could go back to that. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't push that. They just don't. No, I mean, you can be free thinking and all that. I agree. But many people on here just not even accepting that things exist in the first place. If you already do, if you present evidence to somebody that Graham Plattner literally got a $200,000 mortgage, though he says the VA helped him with that, I believe somewhere he actually did say the VA gave him a loan. So that's something I need to find. I know that he did say that. I just have to find that. But he did say it. I just got to find it. That, if I had a picture, it's come down to the point if Graham Plattner shot somebody on Fifth Avenue, his supporters would support him. That's where we are nowadays. No, I mean, personally, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with dealing with modern politics. It's something that I've been wanting to leave for the last 15 years. And I think I'm done. And I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. Not my political history channel. That I still want to do. I love doing that. But as far as the political stuff, politics isn't the same when I started back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, if you wanted to be involved with politics, you had to actually get your ass up out of the chair, get in a car, go to a political meeting, and do something. Now, anybody with one of these or one of these are part of the political discussion. And a lot of people with these and these don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I've seen political discourse not only become more cultish, but become more childish and become more lacking of substance, really. Yeah, but I mean, we're still talking about 12%, right? This might be a reason I end soon because it's like, how long are we going to have to wait to get to 50%, right? It's just, saying these and these behind a computer model. Yep, that's true. Okay, so he said as he raises these and these behind a computer monitor. True. First of all, I worked in politics. I worked in it since 1991. Second of all, you see my name, you see my face. I don't hide behind an avatar with a name that, you could be anyone, right? So I actually put myself out there. And, by making that statement, you're basically proving my point. I've worked on all types of campaigns. I've worked on winning campaigns for like the Liberal Party in Canada. I've worked on winning campaigns, oddly enough, in parts of Utah. The places, and I've worked on winning campaigns here in Illinois. Interestingly, and in Florida, my first ever campaign was Buddy Dyer for state senate, which now he has gone up to become mayor of Orlando. He's going to be retiring on Escamon. He's going to be there. Yeah, so my first election was a win. So I don't know what you're talking about. Wildy, thank you for that. No, it's not even the trolls or whatever on here. It's just a lack of politics has just turned into garbage. Worry more about a spot on Donald Trump's hand than Alex Preddy and Renee Good being shot, right, and executed in cold blood in Minnesota. No, I worked for the Liberal Party in 2015. I don't work for them now. That's 11 years ago. And honestly, if I were a Canadian voter, I would have voted for the NDP anyway. I wouldn't have voted for the Liberal Party. So, have I worked for candidates that I wouldn't have voted for? Yeah, I have. No, it isn't about. It's not about how it impacts anyone's life. It's about the moral character of somebody who's going to be making decisions in one of the most powerful deliberative bodies in the world. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it comes down to. Do I like Mark Carney? Some days I do, some days I don't, right? It's kind of a because some days I think he does a really good job. Some days I think he's the banker that I detest, right? So it is yeah, it's kind of a love-hate relationship, to be honest. Yeah, I mean RCV um or RVC, excuse me. I was just reading what here. It is a runoff, right? I mean, essentially it's just an instant runoff. No, I mean, from my perspective, somebody says politics was always garbage since the 1950s. From my perspective, working in it, it really got garbage in honestly 2 years after I got or 3 years after I got involved with it, 94. When Newt Gingrich got all the attention that he did, that's kind of when everything everything just went down. Now with the NDP, someone's mentioned the NDP. I don't know if I'd support him with Avi Lewis as the leader. Right now, I'd probably vote for Mark Carney. I mean, all I would like for Plattner to do is to really come out and say, why was he not truthful about this stuff? Why did he feel that he had to keep this loan from his father a secret? You know, though being on Kick trying to pick up girls is not a good view either. If Plattner ends up being great, will you change? I mean, again, I just want to answer. I want him to kind of admit that. But then what does being great mean? Okay? If Graham Plattner goes out there every day, and let's just say he legally, I mean, I'm just using this for an argument, right? He legally could go out there and beat the shit out of somebody every day, but yet he votes correctly. Would you consider that being great? That as long as he votes good, he can go out there and beat the shit. Or if he can come on, or let's put it this way, if he comes on TV every day and just says, go fuck yourself every day to hey, people in Maine, go fuck yourself. But he votes the right way. Is that considered great, right? So, I mean, it's kind of an open-ended question. And this is where I think the votes and see, this is where people, I think, are different than I am. You guys are not giving a shit about his moral character because of the votes. I kind of care. I care. I shouldn't say kind of. I care about both. But people will sacrifice David Berkowitz. Yeah, go ahead and elect him. He'll vote for universal health care, right? That's where we differ. No, he didn't beat the shit. No, it's not a false equivalency. I'm saying that if he did something bad every day, but he votes right, would we consider that good? So maybe I should have said it that way. Maybe I shouldn't have said something for the purist of you to not be able to understand the nuance of the argument. Sorry if you don't understand nuance. You know, dude, I'm done with you. I'm banishing you to the shadow realm. No, I mean, I can change my mind because remember, I didn't like Graham Plattner at first because of the Nazi tattoo. Again, how do you fuck that one up? Okay, I'm sorry, youthful indiscretion doesn't see, and this is one of the problems. His answers don't seem straight. Youthful indiscretion, bullshit. At his age, when I was there, I would have known maybe do a little research on that, figure out what it is. Okay. So the fact, like, if a Republican had, if Susan Collins had a SS tattoo on her, you guys would be losing your fucking mind. That's the point. There's the false equivalency. But, I mean, so can he have a good voting record? Yes. Could he still be a shit human? Yes. So would you consider that great or not? Like, I mean, I think those are two separate questions, to be honest. Would Ted Kennedy have beaten Reagan? Hell no. Couldn't even beat Carter. I hate to use the word. Chappaquiddick killed his chances. Am I doing the Nevada primary results? No. I'm going to be heading off in a second. And to be honest, this might be the last stream I do. Bernie, AOC, and Mondani are also part of the establishment. Really? 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 Okay, see, this is the crazy shit I'm just tired of. Was Reagan inevitable in the 1980s? 84, yes. 80, no. But I'd have to figure out a different candidate. Carter had his problems because of being in the incumbent. Kennedy had his problems because he killed someone. Um, so I don't think it was inevitable. Just there might have been a different Democrat. Remember, Reagan, and I did this in my newest video. I actually just released my video last week about Reagan versus Bush. Reagan thought he had everything in the bag in 1980. He didn't show up to a debate in Iowa. That's what actually led to George Bush winning the Iowa caucuses, because Reagan thought his shit didn't stink and he didn't go to the debate. But after that, he got back on his horse and realized he had to take this thing seriously. He tried the Hillary Clinton, the primaries, right? How much for the channel? I don't know what that means. I mean, if I do, I mean, there is a point that if I do continue it, I might just do international stuff. I just, I just, I just have no interest in American politics. I just really do not. God, this election, I mean, it's only 17% in, but it's so close. Would Jerry Brown have beaten Reagan in 80? Um, I don't. Oh, we got another flip in that Maine race. When did he lose? 82, I think Brown lost to Pete Wilson for the U.S. Senate. So I don't know if Pete Wilson, because you got to remember they're both from California. If Pete Wilson beat Jerry Brown for the U.S. Senate, I don't know if he could have been president. Though I think he would have been a better choice than Kennedy or Carter. Yes, I could see that. Taylor Swift had beaten Donald Trump. Um, Honestly, it's kind of like with politics nowadays. I consider that a more serious question than anything. No, no. No, here's the thing: somebody's voting record and somebody's character are mutually exclusive. They're not connected to each other. Someone can have a good, okay, somebody could have a bad voting record. And, one can argue that Jimmy Carter was a bad president, but he was a great character. Okay. People could argue that Bill Clinton was a great, you know, great president, but had very bad character, right? They are mutually exclusive. But yeah, I mean, will I continue this? I don't know. Do I really want to continue it? No. No. American elections? No. Talking about the by election coming up? Yeah. I'm actually interested in that. Talking about maybe elections or some Swiss referendums and stuff like that. Wanted to do the Armenian one. Would I rather do that? Yeah, honestly, I would. I don't like American politics. I like the history of it. Like, I like doing the history because it reminds me when it wasn't so screwed up. But I don't know if I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Because see here, let me let's see. People just want to in this space want you to tell them that they're right, and when you bring a different point of view, as we have seen in the chat today, it doesn't go well. And I never will be one of those channels that everybody of one view can kumbaya to. It just won't happen. What about November 4? Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, like I said, right now, um, if I don't do things like let's talk elections or whatever, if I'm not sitting there constantly sucking the dick off of a Democratic candidate, then I'm not going to get views. If I'm not going to get views, I'm not going to get money. And if I'm not going to get money, I would rather be right now working on my script for my election history channel than just sitting here sucking off Democrats telling them they're better than sliced bread. Honestly. And honestly, this shit has gotten bad after Trump got reelected. If Kamala Harris had won, would I think there would have been some normality to the political discourse online? Yeah. But it was kind of like when Trump got reelected or elected for a second time, it's just like everyone lost their shit. Everyone just lost their fucking marbles, didn't want to be confronted with the truth. And now it's become so fucking childish, right? People are talking about spots on Trump's hand, yet people are getting murdered in the streets of Minneapolis. So, you know, if you want to watch paint dry, you can do Irish elections. My history channel, I did a 2 hour and 35-minute video about the history of Sinn Féin. So there you go. Yeah, Brazil has one. Is it immediately after the US elections or immediately before? Or someone that has it, I think, like immediately after. I have to look at the calendar. So you got the Brazil election on the 4th, and the Quebec election has to be called the late or be held no later than the 5th. Then we have the Alberta stuff. New Zealand's after the New Zealand parliamentary elections immediately after the US one. So Brazil is October 4th. I can do election stuff. Like I said, it's a matter of utility. Okay? Because I got to pay bills, I got to do things. And if this channel isn't cutting it, then I can't, in good conscience, be able to continue this. I have to work on the things that pay the bills. And this right now, hell, I'll even show you behind. I'm going to even show you a little bit behind the scenes here. Where is it? Oh, there's a super chat here. Don't let the idiocracy discourage you. Give us another live stream November, please. People need to learn how to entertain other ideas. No, no, I mean I agree with that. It's just that it's not even that as much as it's not that as much as if you aren't doing the bullshit sensationalism, like no one will come and watch your videos. That's what it is. No one will come and watch your videos. And that's where it's and I'm lucky to have a few good people. And yeah, I get pissed off at people, right? But like I said, and I think I pretty much mentioned it, I don't care if this channel grows anymore. I really don't. Okay, wait, is this it? No, come on, I'm trying to find. I swear, if you ever go to. Okay. Tell you, if you ever get Substack, it has the worst dashboard on the face of the earth. It's really bad. Okay, maybe this is it. Come on. Trying to hold on a second. I'm trying to find something. Stats. Audience. Come on, really? Subscribers, maybe? No? I don't know. I can't find it. So what I was going to show you is that on election day, on my Substack, where I gave more statistical information, I had 157 paid subscribers. Now, I've halted the payments, but last time it was 31. It dropped from 157 to 31. Once the election's over, unless you are constantly pumping this shit out, you're not, unless you're constantly pumping bullshit out on a daily basis, you cannot sustain being in this space. You just can't. Okay. And that's where it's a problem. Okay, not only do you have to do it every day, you have to do it every day, and you have to constantly suck off one side or the other. That's the only way you can grow on, and I'm not even going to say on YouTube. That's the only way now that you can grow on any of this. Trying to find. Why can't I find my paid subscribers? So I want to show you the graph on it because it just shows how ridiculous it fell right after the election. Jesus fucking Christ, are you kidding? Yeah, I, honestly, Substack has the worst dashboard there is. Yeah, see, and whereas when I do my history channel, I can do a video every week, and it does pretty well. Okay. Okay, French football, Qataris. If you're talking about French football, you're way back in. We're an hour or so past that, so you must be behind on the stream. So you probably won't see this comment for a while. No, 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 no. Okay, so I think everyone. This is a good point. So tropical ding dong, you make a good point. Everyone had, and see, this is where I think it just went to crap, right? Everything went down after the election. Okay, I think like everyone went down after the election. But what was required to recover after the election, I didn't like the way that um, I didn't like the way that was going, because I can already see it was going slop, garbage, just MAGA bad, anyone Democrat good. There was nothing for nuance. There's no way that people were going to only look at statistical stuff. So, at that point, I was like, I started seeing other channels pick up, but mine wasn't. Granted, I didn't do as much, but like, there have been some bright spots, some, but not enough to justify keeping it going. And it's kind of like, I don't want to do that. And like, and that, yeah, that's the thing. It's just no one wants. And even when I was doing the election numbers, I'll admit I played into it, right? I was doing the thumbnails. Kamala Harris is doing well, blah 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 blah. Would I fudge the numbers? No, but would I make them maybe? Would I maybe say things that were maybe a little bit positive? Yes. When I know, or I knew, I guess I should say, they were not good? Yes. If you were to ask me the day, if you were to ask me the day of the election, truly what I thought, and I'm going to say this right now, there are two videos I had. I had the one video from about Pennsylvania. And then I wrote the article about Republicans voting for Harris, saying that was bullshit. Then in one of my videos about the predictions, I said that Kamala Harris was going to lose. Trump was going to win. This was like a week out from the election. I got emails and calls from people that were significant, and people didn't want me to say that. So I said it in a less way, right? Because I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? It's like, I still found myself, maybe I would be working in the space, because this is the problem with Democratic politics. It's better to be wrong, but on the side of the team, than be not on the team, but be right. It sucks, but it's true. Now, I thought I could get back in. And if you were to ask me the day of the election of the swing states, which way were they going to go? I would have said the only swing states that Kamala Harris will win, and she didn't, but I was like, the only ones are Michigan and Wisconsin. That's it. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, we're all going to go to Trump. No doubt about that. Yeah, all five of them. I knew Trump was going to win those. My models were telling me they were going to win them. But then that gets back to the point with the David Bonnier thing and me saying, like, David Bonnier doing all this shit about the cannibalization of votes, or their super voters are getting out early, so on election day our voters, and it was like stupid because it would require a total shift in the way we do voting, like the way in which we've done voting, right? Which has happened. COVID did change that. I mean, before the election, it was the Republicans who did the mail-in ballot and the Democrats who did the early in person, right? So we did see a shift. Nothing was causing this shift. But yet David Bonnier, he was Congress, Tom Bonnier and stuff were saying no. And so I was thinking, well, they got more data than I do, so my models must be wrong. Okay? They know more than I do because they get into the voter file. They're getting updated information about individuals who have voted or not. I'm probably wrong. And I ended up being right. Okay, with the exception of Wisconsin and Michigan, which honestly shocked me. I thought both of those states were going to be pretty solidly for Kamala Harris. So that was a shock. Then I wrote my article that was on Substack, which was this one. Tom Bonnier and Simon Rosenberg, fuck you. The day this came out, somebody, okay, you can guess who, somebody called somebody else that I know and told me that I had to take this. I had to take this down. I had to take this article down. I told that person to tell that other person, go fuck themselves. Okay. So let's put it this way. These two people knew who I was. They were watching the channel. They knew who I was. And after the election, I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm like, I don't care. And it sucks. And now it just seems to me as like it's not like and then the things changed and I started seeing and it really was Pod Save America where I really saw the change. Pod Save America went from, I would say, good opinions to kind of falling into this garbage slop area. Not as sloppy as, let's say, Midas Touch. But the apple isn't falling far from the tree now. And I just say to myself, I can't do that. And that's what's being pushed. If I get up here and talk about numbers and all that, unless I'm putting some sort of like, cucking spin on it, like let's talk elections, unless I'm doing something like that, I'm sure he's saying that the Democrats will win 435 seats in the House, right? Unless I do that, that's where YouTube is gone when it comes to this political space. And that's why I don't think I can continue it. Really. So, but like talking about French football, love that. Doing a travel channel, going to historical places. I love that. I wanted to get a PhD in history. So doing the election history channel, though I do get stupid people on there, doing the election history channel, I love doing that. So I'm cool with that. Being in politics ever since 1994, and I would say it was Contract with America, Newt Gingrich revolution, that politics just really went to garbage at that point. It really went bad. And it's like, not as bad as it is now, but it got bad. It got back to, I don't know. Tropical Dean Dong, thank you again for a super chat. I built up a stat approach which had Biden losing at 5 sigma confidence by March. My method couldn't apply to Harris, so I stopped running models. Yeah, I even explained my models, right? I mean, it's just based on early votes and how that early vote compared to previous early votes and all that. Especially with the partisan model. Like the partisan models were spot on. Okay. The problem was with the models is it only did early vote and vote by mail. It didn't do election day vote. The only place I could do election day votes was in Florida, where you can get election day vote numbers. That's why my Florida models, I was the only one that had Ron DeSantis beating Andrew Gillum. The only one. Nationwide. Everybody else had Andrew Gillum winning. In some cases by a lot. I go, my model says that it's gonna be friggin' close. As a matter of fact, I might even be able to get the or at least the Democrats and Republicans, not Ron DeSantis necessarily, but Democrats and Republicans. Oh, come on. Here we go. Oh, what happened to it? Oh, I must have made it private. That's what it is. I probably made it private. And there gets a point where you say these things and then just no one listens, right? Come on, where is it? Oh, come on. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. So this was my model of Florida right here. My final projection as of election day at 6 p.m. DeSantis Scott 49%, Gillum Nelson 48 or 47.8%. It was the only model in the nation that had the Republicans winning. It was the only model that was correct. But no one mentions it. No one talks about it because you're not in the clique. If you're not in, the Simon Rosenberg, Tom Bonnier clique, you don't get the clicks, right? And this is why, personally, for me, I think I'm kind of at the end of the road. So, Troy Jackson now in the lead again. Now this thing is a real three-way race. Wow. And so yeah. So I don't know what this could be the last live stream. And if it is, it's totally fine to me. I don't mind it at all. Did I watch the Hungarian election? Yeah, I observed it. I know that Lichtman actually did a live stream of it. Um, okay, now let me tell you why, of the people who are still hanging around now, even though we've gone totally off of this. Let me explain why I want to ditch this, go full in on history. In politics, like I mentioned, with these two here, especially this fucker right here, um, you know, it's a club. And in politics, you either work together, but you must agree with each other 100%, or it's always fighting. I mean, like when they were doing the fighting with the Young Turks and the Sam Cedars, like when there was that bullshit infighting was happening before, I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it's like in politics, it's just everyone's right. Okay? Everyone's right. Everyone else wants to be win over the other person. Everyone talked about it today. I mean, I'm not saying this wrong, but I'm just saying everyone talks about this person wins, that person wins, this person wins. That's what politics has become. It's about win, 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 win. It's not about anything else. Just win. And that creates animosity, that creates rivalries, that creates hatred, that creates stupid bullshit that we see online. Doing the History Channel, I have met some amazing people, and the support group, and I don't mean like a support group, Gen Z support group. Oh, I'm crying because of something. Sorry, Gen Z people. I'm talking about like, hey, what do you do for this? What do you do for this? I'm trying to think of this. What should I do? So on and so forth. The support group has been amazing. Like the people in the history genre want to see other history channels succeed, and they will help you to that point. Now, I've talked to a number of significant people in the history genre on YouTube who've been very helpful and openly helpful. I mean, like really openly helpful. Like I can just ask them something whenever. In politics, it's a closed door. You have to be invited to the club. And if you're not part of the club, then you can't break through. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why I kind of want to do the history only. It's because the groups, the people you work with, the people you interact with and stuff like that are so much more humane, nice, want to see you succeed, whereas in politics, everyone wants to see you fail. And this to me is the reason why I'm almost half tempted to just jettison voting trend. The only thing I had thought about doing, maybe, is, well, put it in the of the few people who are still here, put it in the chat. Like, why did you come to this channel in the first place? The one thing that I was doing, because somebody just mentioned it here, Dave, do you think there's a correlation between primary turnout and general election results like in Iowa, Ohio, and Texas? That would require more research, right? So I don't know, but I brought up that point because I brought up that point. Oh, we are at 30% now. Woohoo. I brought up that point because there is a point where if I do think I'm going to continue something, it would be on Substack and not on YouTube. I I think that Substack is more, it's going to be harder to grow, but like, it's going to be harder to grow on Substack, but I feel that I can have academic paper quality research. Like, I can't do that on YouTube. I can't present stuff on YouTube like I do in an academic paper. So I haven't written an academic paper in 10 years. I can't do that. And I do feel that Substack would allow me to actually speak of elections analytically. So when I'm here talking about Graham Plattner and stuff like that, I don't want to be doing this. That was not the intention of this channel when it started. The intention of this channel was to provide good statistical analysis of the election. Period. That's it. YouTube does not allow you to do that. Not in politics. Politics is a social experiment, a social science. Okay? But it's very much on the social part of the social science. Very much not in the science part. Whereas me, I'm very much in the science part of it. And for me, I don't want to talk about, like, you just gotta do that on YouTube. I feel on Substack, I could just write an article looking at, let's say, the Iowa primary. Write an article, look at what's on the article, or look what the statistics say, write an article about that, give my opinion of it, provide some statistical inference from it, and so on, to say this is what I've noticed. To keep it at that, because I wanted to keep everything at a high level. The problem with YouTube, it makes you create slop. Unless you're working on something that is in a technical field. So like if you're Neil deGrasse Tyson, or if you're doing something about programming or computer engineering or mechanical engineering or something mathematical or something like that, that is a science first. There's no social aspect of it. That is a science first. What I'm trying to do is talk about science within something that is very much a social construct, right? Voting behavior. And look at statistical analysis of voting behavior. That just, it didn't work on YouTube. It just doesn't work on YouTube. So for me, it's like, it seems like Substack is the smartest choice to keep high level analysis and try to build something from there. Or, because the problem with YouTube, I just got to make slop. I just got to make slop. And I don't want to do that. Let me read some of your comments, because I did ask, like, when did you start watching it, right? So why can't you do academic style work on YouTube? It just, the algorithm don't want it. Not in politics. It doesn't want it, right? It wants a Steve Kornacki, very simple. This county has more of a, or Harry Enton, really, really basic analysis, right? It's just, if you're not sensationalizing it, I'm sorry, but like election, I hate to say it because it goes against myself. Election numbers are boring if you know, you're not sitting there looking at the popcorn saying, oh, what's the what's the R squared of the vote? Talking about this vote compared to that vote. People aren't like chomping down the popcorn to watch that, right? So that's where it becomes difficult. Shared a level of hatred toward Republican. I mean, that's the thing. I'm very much. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. But I do not vote. I hate Republicans. So a lot of them, yep, during the elections. Now, one thing that I have thought about doing. Now they do have this. Let me finish reading. What if you only do slop thumbnails by factual videos? I mean, it's like I don't even want to do that. But I get it. Yeah. Um, yeah. See, that's the thing. So somebody here says my mom is a longtime Democrat in Maine and will be voting for Susan Collins for the first time ever. It's the older voters that are going to vote for Susan Collins. So you know, I'm just saying. Can we pick all the World Cup Fuck it. Yes. I mean, I don't care anymore. Um, um, because I'm keeping an eye on this Maine governor's primary, but screw it. So okay, so there is one thing as well, which is that Substack does have it that I can do a video on Substack then it publishes over to YouTube. So I might spend all the time on Substack, but then just maybe do videos. But if I'm going to do in depth articles and analysis, I'd rather do that through writing. And like, and again, to make that worth it, I need to monetize it. So, you know, and I know like even with me, it's like I like pay for two Patreons. One's Jay Swanson, a creator out of Paris who's an American, and one's guy named Gabriel Traveler, who's a traveler, right? So yeah. All right. Group A, Mexico, Korea, Czech Republic. I'm gonna put Czech Republic second. Mexico's at home, so I got Korea down there. Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, Bosnia. I think we're just going to move Bosnia here, though they could win. Switzerland's real good. I'm going to keep them there. Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Haiti. I'm going to flip these, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. But I think we got here. USA, Turkey, Australia, Paraguay. That I have for sure. That I have for sure, and I not in the U.S. If it were neutral grounds, I'd probably pick Australia. Germany up there, Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire, Curacao. I think that stays that way. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. I think I'm going to go Japan as far as number one. Netherlands second, Sweden. It's like I want to put Tunisia in there, but no. Belgium, Iran, Egypt, New Zealand. I mean, even though it was a friendly, New Zealand was able to keep up with England, but I think I'm going to keep this the same, which, yes, that means that I have USA versus Iran. Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde. I'm going to put Cape Verde up there. France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. That stays the same. Argentina, Austria, Algeria, Jordan. I think I'm going to put Algeria second. Portugal, Colombia, DRC. Okay, we'll keep that one. England, Croatia. I'm putting Croatia first. Panama, Ghana. There we go. And then pick the 8. So Korea definitely. Scotland, Australia definitely. Austria definitely. Egypt. Ghana, Sweden. Oh, I thought I picked Bosnia. Probably Norway. All right. Czech Republic versus Canada. Going with the Czech Republic. Japan versus Brazil. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Japan. Germany versus Australia. Germany. France versus Egypt. France. Just so you know, I'm just going to tell you this because of my preference. France is going to be the final. My winner, right? Morocco versus the Netherlands. I think Morocco takes that. I think Senegal takes this one. Mexico, Scotland, that would be good. Mexico, I think, would win. Croatia, Norway, Croatia. Switzerland, Austria. That'll be an interesting one. Got to go with Switzerland. Portugal, Ghana. I'm going with Ghana. Argentina, Uruguay. Wow, that's a good one. I'm going with Uruguay. I'm going for the upset. Iran versus the U.S. I'm going with the U.S. because I think U.S. are going to rig it. Korea, Belgium. Belgium. Turkey and Bosnia. Turkey. Spain and Algeria. We got some really interesting matchups here. Spain and then England versus Colombia. Though I was seeing Ian Wright today at a Colombia jersey on. Czech versus Japan. Japan. France. Morocco, Senegal, Morocco. Croatia, Mexico, Croatia. Because Croatia just always does good. Switzerland, Ghana. I'm going Ghana. USA, Uruguay. Easily Uruguay. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the fix is in there. Turkey, Belgium. Go with Turkey. Belgium's past its golden years. Why are my predictions awful? Tell me. I hate when people just say this is bad or this is good and then not actually explain. England, Spain. I just have this feeling that England's going to do something. England. France, Japan, France. England. Croatia. Uruguay. France. Croatia. France, Croatia. We haven't seen that before. And then France. So there's my bracket there. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up for tonight. These are taking forever to come in. Just decided to do a live stream because I just had time. So I don't know what the future is. I don't know if I'll be doing any. I don't know if I'll be doing any videos on this channel anymore. I don't know if I'll be doing any live streams. I don't know. No, no. Here's what it is. Here's no, 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 no. Okay. The where did it go? Did I accidentally close? I close. No, the thing now I'll go on the other hand. So you're undervaluating European teams. I think people are undervaluing African teams. I think I think like Ghana. Now I'm putting Croatia in there because Croatia just always does what Croatia does, right? Um, but I think Spanish teams are underrated. I almost be honest with you. I almost don't know if Mexico will make it out of, even though that's home. I don't know if Mexico will win their group. They could finish third because they're just one of those countries that I think their players are just too little too immature. Um, no, but Portugal's one of those teams, and the United States was one of them back in 2002. Portugal's one of those teams that can get upset. Now, you could say that most African countries are tactically poor, but a lot of them play in countries where they know tactics. So they'll have to improvise. The coaching might not be there, but they play in the Premier League. They play in Serie A. They play in Liga, right? Some of them even play in the Bundesliga, not as many. Um, so yeah, maybe am I doing? Maybe I should have. So I have Senegal and Ghana. Could I have? I mean, I think that final is fine. France and England, I think is fine. Croatia and Uruguay, I think is fine. It's like yeah, Mexico. I don't know. I have Mexico winning the group just by virtue of them having games at home. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they'll be. I wouldn't be surprised they finish third. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the United States finishes fourth. Because honestly, with the United States group, I believe if you put all those teams on a neutral ground, the United States is the worst. It is the least disciplined team. So, yeah, I mean, like, I only have Australia here because I think out of this group, I think the United States is the worst team out of that group. Well, France would play both England and Germany, right? Yeah, we got peak World War I/II going on there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Brazil now is the Brazil. Ever since Brazil got a shellacking by Germany in that World Cup final, the team, the composition, the coaching, and all that just has not been the same as it was. It's not the same team. of, from Pele all the way to, you know, Ronaldinho or Ronaldo or something like, it's not the same team anymore. I mean, for me, I mean, I'm a France fan. France had a good team, but if we look, to me, in 1998, France had a really good team. But if you look at the team that was on paper, Brazil should have won that game. Okay. Canada's over here. I have them losing to the Czech Republic. Though Canada could win. I mean, Canada's a decent team. Just need Italy. No, we don't. I'm glad Italy's out. I'm a France fan. Of course I'm glad Italy's out. Ancelotti knows how to deal with egos. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. That many years in Italy, yeah, you'll know. So, so yeah, this is what I got for World Cup. And of course, France was. It just, I mean, I probably wouldn't usually have Croatia in the final, but they got a weaker side. It just seems like this side is very very heavy. This side is much weaker. Yeah. Let's see what happened. Ah, starting to see some changing here. Well, this will be interesting to watch. Croatia's team's getting older, but it's just like even when they had Dvorak back in the day, it's like they're getting older, but they still have it, right? Like if there is an old team I want on the pitch, it's gonna be a Croatian team. So now there's somebody I like. I like James Talrico. If Mbappe doesn't leak with Dembele, I'm not seeing France winning. I think I'm just kind of. I mean, we'll see what happens this World Cup. I'm just waiting for the Zidane era. This is Didier Deschamps' last World Cup. Waiting for the Zinedine Zidane era, which will be interesting. Yeah, Modric is almost 40, but even at 40, the guy is phenomenal. I mean, like Yamir Yager in hockey. I mean, granted, he didn't play all the years with Pittsburgh, but like or Washington, but like he just like retired from hockey. What is he like 54? He just retired. Granted, he's not playing in the World Cup of hockey, but yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to end tonight's live stream. If this is the last live stream or not, I don't know. Maybe I'll decide to do one in the future. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I do not know. Like I said, for me right now, most important thing is for me to work on the History Channel. That is first and foremost. Second thing is my regular job, which is being an English teacher. I mean, I hated politics so much that I decided to work in a field that was the exact opposite of politics. That's why I became an English teacher. I picked it by choice because I wanted to leave politics. So that should give you an idea how much I hate politics, right? Voting trend is very much lowest on my priority list. So I might not do these anymore. I do not know. I'll say it'd be a relief if I didn't do them anymore. Um, so no, I don't want to do any. I do not want to do any current politics on my history channel. That is a. I consider that a history channel, not a current politics channel. Um, so I will not be doing it on those. We'll see what happens. Okay. Um, but I don't know if this is the live streams. I don't mind, but I'm not doing any more regular videos anymore. That I can tell you. The regular videos are done. The live streams are about all I'm going to do. And yeah, it's just like, to me it's just kind of more that I am starting to feel that Substack is the place for me to be. This YouTube shit requires too much drama in the political world. And I don't know if I want to continue that. If I want to continue, it might be on Substack. Now, if I do make an actual opinion, like an actual decision of I'm done with this channel, I'm finishing it, I will make a video to let everybody know. And I'd recommend them going over to my Substack. But there, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now here at the end. Part of me just wants to not even YouTube or whatever. Part of me just wants to disconnect from politics totally. Like I'm done with it. Like I'm finished with it. And it has nothing to do with YouTube or whatever. It just has to do with politics. I'm done with it. And that's what I have to decide. I just have to say, look at how Polymarket or whatever is just going all over the place with this. What a bunch of degenerate gamblers. Anyway, because yeah, here's the thing. If I do my traveling history channel like I'd like to do, I can go to historical places that I want to go, see, experience. Do things that I want to do. I don't want to do this. That's probably why it'll come to an end. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Well, I will let you all go. We've been watching for 4 hours. I mean, holy cow, it's been 3 hours nearly, and only 39% has come in. And nothing like really, well, Portland has. So yeah. I mean, this is just because we got Bellows here at 20. I mean, this is a 4-way race. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So, and I'll tell you, I actually don't mind doing the live streams compared to the regular stuff, because the live streams, I just come up whenever I want, do a live stream, and then finish for the day. It's not I got to get a video out every day, or I'm not going to be able to. I don't have to deal with that. It's one of the reasons why the live streams are kind of like less of a hassle for me. So yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I might be on here in, well, actually, there's not much going on. Let's see. The only next worth a shit election is on the 23rd. Maybe the Utah primary for the 1st congressional district. I mean, the Michigan primary is not even until August. So primaries are starting to thin out right now, right? So so yeah, so that is, there really isn't much going on that I can look at. I'm looking at the calendar right now. But again, could I change this channel into an international elections? Because one of the problems with that is if I go international elections, I lose all my American um, followers who just come here for American stuff. It's not that I hate politics, maybe necessarily. I hate American politics. I can't wait until, oh yeah, we do have I will be doing a live stream for the by-election. Okay, that's coming up. I will be doing a live stream for the by-election. So that will be something. But I just hate American politics now. That I don't mind doing the other stuff, but American politics, I just want to let it go. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, everyone. I will see you all later. Thank you all very much who have supported me and all that. Sorry if I went after a few of you today, but I got strong opinions on Plattner. I think we all have them. I still have them. I still think it's going to be closer than people think. But we'll see. All right. Well, yes, the Quebec elections. Whenever they call those, they haven't called those yet, have they? Yeah, so nothing's been called yet. So yes, the Quebec ones definitely. Right. See, this is what I'd rather do. The Quebec elections, the by-elections in the UK, Australian state elections. This is what I'd rather do than American elections. And I would lose a ton of my audience, but I actually would enjoy doing them more. I don't like doing American politics. So, but if I did do international, I would want to only do international. I don't want to do American. I really don't. I'll do maybe the general election on election day for American politics, but and you know, the good thing about, I think the good thing about doing, maybe I'll think about this. The good thing about doing international politics is it doesn't need to be just numbers driven. It can be just giving news about what's happening in a current election, right? Some polling numbers, some other information, candidates that are running and stuff like that. Doesn't need to delve deep into the numbers, but just inform people about, like, many people might not know about the upcoming elections in Quebec and what's going on there and stuff like that. Make videos about that. That I would consider coming back to making videos for. I don't want to do American, like, I really do not want to do American politics anymore. And again, to tell you the truth, ever since I got my Slovak citizenship, and this sounds selfish and I don't care, I've looked at American politics as it's not my problem anymore because I got my ticket out of here. So when is Nevada? Is there Nevada results coming in today? So I don't know of or Nevada results. So yeah. I really don't know. I mean, are there Nevada results? I mean, I just haven't paid attention. I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess there are some Nevada results. Are there any worth of shit going on in Nevada? I don't see anything from Nevada. Okay. No, I mean, I'm not going to stay up that late just because, you know, it's just getting to the point because I got to get up early to cut the grass because it's 96 friggin' degrees outside. It's like you go outside and you burst into flames. But yeah, So what about just having round robin pick interesting races on a weekly basis and the US races that are flippable? I don't want to talk about American elections and politics or whatever at all. See, that's kind of where I have the issue of, do I want to continue this or not? I do not want to talk about American politics, period. Really. I would rather talk about having my eyes gouged out than talk about American politics. Really. And American elections. I just have no no interest in it. None. I do it out of obligation, I feel, but not because I like them. I'd love to just tear that fucking band-aid off and not have to worry about it ever again. But I could do international elections and would be very happy to do international elections. I've done videos about Canadian elections. I've done videos about German elections. And they did okay. They didn't do poorly, but they did okay. The problem is, and this goes to another, would I rather spend an hour making a video for here, or would I rather spend an hour writing a script for an election history video that I know is going to perform better? Right? So that's it. Yeah, and honestly, like, there's some people, for example, don't listen to me when it comes to Nevada. Listen to John Ralston. Exactly. John Ralston. John Ralston's the only person you need to listen to when it comes to Nevada. That's it. You just bookmark him and you're good. You don't need anything else. So yeah, the guy is good. So yeah, so we'll end it tonight. Almost 4 hours. Holy cow. Thank you all very much. I'll keep you in the loop. But this might change to an international only channel, really. And again, I'll lose people, but it's and if it doesn't take off, like I said, I and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't do this for the religious experience. I do it because it brings some income. And right now it brings in that, like, I've probably made less than minimum wage doing this right now, and it's just not necessarily worth it. So you got to keep that in mind as well. If there's no potential for growth, then there's no potential to keep it going. So that's something I have to keep in mind. But I do feel like people who focus on international politics, let's put it this way. The comments that I get in my videos about the German elections are significantly better than the comments I get in videos about American elections. Significantly better. They're not emotionally driven. They actually talk about the issues and stuff like that. So no. I don't want to deal with American politics at all. I fucking hate American I know it. I make history videos. I don't mind history stuff, but politics 2026 American? No. I hate it. I all my news that I get on American politics is either from the BBC or France 24 or Deutsche Welle, right? That's where I get my news on American politics. Unless somebody, one of my friends, send it to me on WhatsApp. That's like where I get all my news. I have not even been following it because I do not want to follow it. I cannot tell you the last time I watched an American network. I can't tell you the last time that I read anything in a publication. Like the New York Times, I showed something with Plattner, but besides that, I only had something on the New York Times so I could see election results. I just do not care about American politics, really. So that's why. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Yeah, sportification of U.S. politics. That's why I hate it. It's not even about. I don't know. It sucks. It's depressing. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a